Hey, dude. Sorry I'm late. I was chilling with my homies.
But yes, we are late, but we are live now. But welcome to another episode of Late with Tape 3. I decided to have some fun and not talk about specific franchises and that. Just talk about some of the worst movies we've ever seen. A lot as well as movie news. But I've got Jordan Owens here. Jordan, how's it going?
Hello! Happy to be here. I believe it's the first time on this particular show, so excited.
We've also got Chris here. Chris, how's it going?
And together with the champion on the Emmy nomination. But didn't have fun talking about some of the best movies I've ever seen. Some of it you may have for me for any time before. We need to have fun.
We've also got Kevin here. Kevin, how's it going?
I am doing quite well. I'm super excited to be back, and especially I get to probably let out some rage with this topic.
And last but not least, we've got Stephen. Stephen, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. Yeah, this should be fun. Talking about the worst movies of all time.
But as I like always doing on this, we're going to talk about movie news that have dropped over the past week. Well, in this case, it's past 2 weeks because I didn't actually have a show last week. But the box office for this week, at number one, as kind of everyone suspected, it was Eternals, came in with $71 million. Dune came in second place with $7.6 million. No Time to Die was in third with $6.2 million. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, for some reason is still making money, is $4.5 million. And Ron's Gone Wrong came in fifth at $3.6 million. Jordan, do you have any thoughts about the box office?
No, not too much. I mean, obviously, you got the Marvel at the top. No, that's no way suspecting. I've heard good things about the Ron movie. I thought it actually might make a little bit more because it seems to have pretty positive buzz and a good family movie. So,
Chris, any thoughts on the box office?
Yeah, nothing really much. I'm not surprised it's making money. I'll see it tomorrow, so I don't really have an opinion whether it's the money it makes or not yet. So I'll just see it tomorrow. Remember, but everything else, yeah, I'm happy to keep doing it. No Trying to Die doing well. Not really happy about, yeah, I'm kind of happy about Venom to have everything going on. But the rest of the box office looks good. Everything expensive when we look at the bottom half, do a little bit okay. That is really good movie that a lot of people should go see. But yeah, good box office this week.
Kevin, any thoughts on the box office?
Not surprised, especially with number one. I'm a little surprised on hanging in there is Venom with the Carnage. I figured it would have dropped off the top fives this week, but no, I'm surprised it's still hanging in there. That crazy mess of a film, but wow, people still want to go see that still.
Stephen, any thoughts on the box office?
I mean, yeah, Venom's been out for a month now, so I haven't seen it yet, and probably won't see it until it's available to stream. Because I didn't even care much for the first one. Am I getting an echo?
I am hearing an echo from somewhere. I don't know where.
I only hear it from me.
I mean, we can deal with it. It's not too distracting. But yeah.
I actually haven't been to the movies that
for
much.
me, but yeah, like for me, I'm not too surprised about the box office. I kind of thought Eternals might have made a little bit more, to be honest, but we are still in pandemic time and all that, so it's doing good. And I mean, Venom: Let There Be Carnage isn't on a streaming service, so that's probably why I suspect it is still making money, because you can't go watch it for free. I haven't seen it yet, but that's just because it doesn't come out for me until at least the end of November. Um, but yeah, but with that being said, going to go into a news story that I thought I'd bring up as a discussion point as opposed to just lumping it in with all the other news. Based on the tragedy that happened on the movie Rust, I think this is what it's
Yeah,
called, the Alec Baldwin one.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, The Rock came out this week and he vowed that he was not going to use real guns on his sets anymore, and which obviously is a big thing. I'm not too sure about this whole Rust thing because there's talks about saying it was a real gun. There's talks saying it was a prop gun. I don't think they've really confirmed much about this whole situation. I mean, it probably won't be confirmed for a long time yet. But Chris, what are your thoughts about The Rock vowing to never use real guns on set anymore? And do you think this will be the start of a new trend in Hollywood?
About time. I suddenly expected it to have been any other production besides what that gun accidentally gone on that we haven't heard about that they try to cover up in Hollywood. But it's something that needs to be dealt with because, we lost somebody due to this mishap. Exterminate! Okay, you got yours. The pandemic could have been prevented if we had better people on set of the park because no budget thing to hire inexperienced people that led to this thing. The gun should be done properly, and they need to check beforehand. They seriously need to be security measures behind the use gun on set to make sure that they are not liability no real ground in
But Kevin, what are your thoughts about The Rock vowing to never use real guns again?
I'm hoping that like with his star power, I think it could lead to emotion. But I feel like more of a problem is not that. It's more of the people handling the safety, because I feel like that it's more of an issue because you need a stronger regulation with hiring legit people that actually know what they're doing, especially when following this whole allegation of hearing about some of the actual live ammunition was mixed with the dummy round, and like thinking, how could you, if it's true, how could you let that happen? You had to tell, isn't it easy you can tell the difference between those? There's that, and apparently they were firing before as well. Like it baffles my mind about that. I'm hoping that with this, it's like at least it helps and it prevents more of this from happening.
Yeah. Stephen, what are your thoughts on The Rock vowing to never use real guns on set?
I mean, this is a pretty rare event. These don't really occur often. So, but yeah, I don't really have much of an opinion on this because I don't really know how these things happen on sets. What's used, what blanks, live ammunition, whatever. But if it leads to this never happening again, then sure, gotta do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm with you on this, Stephen. Like, when it comes to this whole thing, it's definitely one of those things that, while it is rare, something needs to be done. But yeah, something does need to be done about this. And hopefully, this is the start of a trend. Because from what I've read about this whole situation is that the people that are handling these guns put live ammunition in it to take backstage and just have fun shooting beer cans and stuff. So I mean, that should never have happened in the first place.
There's a lot of stories coming out though, so we don't know. Someone's either lying or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the one big thing that I think from what I understand is that the people that were on the set at the time of this thing were not union things, because with the whole strike potentially looming, with the whole IATSE thing that was floating around that same time, all the union members walked off the set. So I don't know, but if the Rock can start a thing and stop this happening anymore, then I'm all for this. Jordan, what are your thoughts about the Rock vowing to never use real guns?
Yeah, no, I think you guys have kind of said it best. While it is rare, it unfortunately was a super tragic thing that we do want to make sure hopefully never happens again. So if this is a way to eliminate that just by simply saying, hey, sorry, you need the budget for a fake gun or whatever it needs, then yeah, it needs to be done. You know what I mean? It's rare, but it is the ultimate mess up, and to put it kind of lightly. So it does need to be made sure that it never happens again, hopefully. So if this is a way, and hopefully the Rock's a big enough star, as was kind of said, that it actually might take, some fruition might actually happen. So yeah, all for it.
Yeah. But anyway, to move over to the next section, we've got we had a few movie trailers sort of drop over the last couple of weeks. We got the first teaser look into the Lightyear movie. We got a trailer for the Neil Patrick Harris Christmas movie, 8-Bit Christmas. And we got a new trailer for Sing 2. Kevin, what are your thoughts on the trailers that we got?
I've not seen the 8-Bit Christmas one yet. Lightyear, I'm really excited for this one. I love that, like, it's about the character based off the toy of Buzz Lightyear, which I immediately love the reaction to people being confused by that. I'm really interested to see, and also I feel like this might be Pixar more going into the animated action. I'm not counting The Incredibles as animated action, but I feel like this one could really be great, especially with Chris Evans voicing the Buzz Lightyear. Sing 2. I'm not a big fan of the first one. I thought it was just pretty much fine and forgettable. I'm intrigued mostly because they used the right YouTube song that gets me hooked, and I feel like I love listening to YouTube, and I'm actually kind of interested. I'm kind of interested in this, even though I know Illumination films are kind of the same. I'm hooked. I'm pretty hooked by this one.
Stephen, what are your thoughts on the trailers?
Of those three, the only one that really interests me is Lightyear. Lightyear does look great. The animation looks fantastic. 8-Bit Christmas. It had a couple of moments that made me smile, but that's about it. And Sing 2, I mean, I haven't even seen the first Sing, so this one didn't really do much for me either.
Yeah, for me, the first look at Lightyear, it just looks good. Like, the way they managed to make this look differentiate this from the actual toy to make the character look more sort of realistic, so to speak. It's just one of those ones that looks so good. I really want them to do a movie based on Woody's Roundup now, so they can get the Western genre. And can't wait for them to get not Tom Hanks to voice Woody, and get more angry people.
It'll get Colin Hanks.
Well, I mean, they could get. I mean, they could get Tom Hanks's brother Jim Hanks, who voiced Woody in some of the animated,
They
animated.
would save a lot of money.
But none of the trailers for Sing 2 have kind of interested me. It looks like a movie. I'm probably going to see it anyway because why not? And I mean, I enjoyed 8-Bit the 8-Bit Christmas trailer. I mean, once again, it looks like a standard Christmas movie that I'm going to watch and probably enjoy more than most other people. But yeah, Jordan, what was your thoughts on the trailers?
Yeah, very family-friendly trailers all around this week, huh? Yeah, Lightyear. I love all the Toy Stories. So far, they haven't made a bad one. Obviously, it's a different group, so it does look great, as you said, as far as just visuals. So we'll see where they go with the character. It's open for kind of going either way for me, but it has the possibility, that world, that universe, space. It has fun possibilities. 8-Bit, I will admit, I laughed a couple times. I enjoyed the little gags of them kind of, him trying to kind of fib a little bit out. Yeah, helmets. Yeah, totally wore helmets in the 80s. And like different little things like that, him kind of like retconning his own story. It did make me chuckle. Will I see it? Probably not. It's just not for me. It's for a younger generation. And I also think it's one of those trailers that showed maybe a little too much. I feel like I got the movie already. I feel like I've seen the gist of it. And then finally Sing. Yeah, it's fine. It looks like the first one where they're going to throw out a lot of, pop songs that we know and go, oh, I know that song. And I think kids will like that a lot, like they did with the first one. And then they'll try to shoehorn in some emotion. You got the old angry lion or whatever whose wife is dead, I guess. And, we'll try to make us care about that. And it'll probably be passable fun because I have a bunch of nieces. I might end up having to see that one like I did the first one. So, I think Buzz Lightyear has the most potential to be maybe something really fun if written right. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing, for this trailer. We got no dialogue whatsoever, so we don't know. Don't have a feel for the script. But
These
Chris,
kids
what are
know
your
what they're
thoughts on
looking
the trailers?
So, like, it looked fun. It looked like Piss Off to me. I stopped trying to judge the trailer from Piss Off because they tend to usually be great movies, except on one franchise in general. I saw the trailer because of a feature HBO Max that I go have one day and I just watched the trailer. It looked fun. It looked funny and heavy on HBO Max to give me something to watch when I go film Polly. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first thing. I took my nephew to see it. I thought the first half was borderline bad. I didn't really got to sing competition and stuff was fun at the end, but that's the character thing. It probably will be the reason why I would check out the second one. I like his character in the first one. And Bono! The white and white and Bono! Open that Bono! That got me interested. I love Bono in general, so I would check out. I know they're doing early advance screening of it in the next 2 weeks, so I might see it like theater early this month, the first one out of December. But yeah, like it was best thing at 8 equipment for the tech back. It was okay. Like I say, I'm not the biggest Elimination fan. I think they made a bunch of crappy movies with some good movies I actually do like.
But yeah, now we're going to move on to news, which I'm deciding I'm going to break this down a little bit more so I don't have people sort of ask me to repeat the news that I have mentioned. So for the first few news stories, mostly as were announced a couple of weeks ago, but once again, because I didn't have an episode last week, and I just left it there. Brendan Fraser has been cast as Firefly in the Batgirl movie. James Bobin is going to be directing the first episode of the Percy Jackson TV series on Disney Plus. We're getting Dune Part 2. It's due to come out 2023. Bill Murray has confirmed in an interview that he's going to be an Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The Raid's Iko Uwais, I probably butchered his name, has joined the cast for the Expendables 4. And Lisette Alexis has been cast as the lead in Disney Plus's National Treasures television series. Kevin, what are your thoughts on any of these bunch of news?
The Percy Jackson am I quite interested in. I'm I've only read the first book, and I like. I have a soft spot for the movies, but this I'm like hearing they actually got a director, and it's James Bobbin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I can't wait to see what he does with it. I'm really pleased for that. The National Treasure series. I'm curious. I'm curious about how that's going to work. What are they going to do with that? Um, okay, dude. I've yet to see Dude. I've been waiting off for it till I log in my brother's HBO Max account so I could see it at home. But for those people, I'm like, I'll just wait and not see it in theaters. Like I do it shocking to didn't even lose. But I'm like, I'll wait.
You got like 2 weeks before it leave HBO Max.
And for Firefly, Brendan Fraser playing Firefly. Okay. I'm like, I'm more and more getting interested with the Batgirl movie. Like, I can't wait to see how Brendan Fraser plays the villain. Because, like, I know I love seeing him as a livable hero from the Mummy to George the Jungle. I can't wait to see how he plays the villain. I'm really excited for it.
Stephen, what are your thoughts on this bunch of news?
Yeah, I wanted to see Dune in theaters in IMAX, but it's no longer playing in IMAX. So I'm probably just gonna watch it on HBO Max. But I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on the National Treasure series. I just hope it's not taking place of another movie, because to me, without Nicolas Cage or Darren Kruger or Justin Bartha, I wouldn't really be much interested in that franchise continuing. And Bill Murray joining the MCU is really cool. I can't wait to see what he does in Ant-Man.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not taking place in place of the movie. I think we are getting a National Treasure 3 for this with Nicolas Cage. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the series is going to be sort of in that same universe, and we're going to see this new character cross paths with Nicolas Cage at one stage.
That might be cool, actually.
Maybe she might be learning from him.
Yeah, they can pull like the Money Duck thing. And it would change show up in a small capacity.
But yeah, like there's not much in like Bill Murray confirmed there's Ant-Man and the Ant-Man and the Wasp excites me. It's interesting to see who's going to play, if anything. Because it depends on if he's going to, because from what I remember from this interview, I think he said he was in it, but he didn't say for what extent. So it could just be that he's going to be in it as a cameo. Which once again, if he's in the MCU, he's in the MCU.
Or is just Bill Murray being Bill Murray?
But yeah, I mean, I also haven't seen Dune yet, because it doesn't come out in New Zealand until December. But honestly, like, I wasn't really that hyped for the trailers anyway. From the trailers, it just looked fine. And yeah, I mean, it's good to see Brendan Fraser getting work. Like there was a long period of time where Brendan Fraser was in a lot of movies we're probably going to be talking about today. But I'm not talking about those movies if that's what you're thinking, Jordan. But Jordan, what are your thoughts on this bunch of news?
I'm not nominating any Brendan Fraser movies tonight. I like his movie. Yes, no, I'm excited about the casting. Brendan Fraser, I'm a '90s kid, so like that dude was like in a lot of stuff I liked growing up. starting from like Encino Man, the Mummies, Blast from the Past, even Bedazzled. So I'm glad to see him kind of getting a little bit of a resurgence because he kind of got lost in the shuffle. I feel like over time, and maybe other reasons, whatever. So I'm happy to see him in this. Bill Murray, yeah, again, who doesn't love Bill Murray? Like you said, he's a big cameo guy sometimes from Zombieland to Get Smart. So this really could be a really fun 30-second cameo. This could be a cool part. Who knows? Either way, it's cool. I hope it's a bigger part. But if it's even like you said, even if it's a little bit of Bill Murray, that's better than no Bill Murray. So Dune, I'm excited. I did see the first one on HBO Max. Hey, if I can not put on pants and stay in my house, I will. So so I did see it. I dug it, and it definitely does leave you hyped for the next one. Some people feel let down, kind of like the last Halloween in a way, where they're like, "Oh, that's it, or we're just done already." But luckily there is a second part coming. I just hope it doesn't take years to get there. Let's not pull an Avatar. Let's get this thing moving before we kind of stop caring. And then as far as the TV shows, again, kind of like Lightyear, they have potential. They definitely lend to a television format of like a weekly adventure or a binge, whatever you want to do. National Treasure and Percy Jackson. So again, I think it depends on the casting, who you got. I love Nicolas Cage. I do feel if you have a fun lead, and like you said, it could be his nephew, his niece. It could be what I mean. Like you could play into the universe or whatever, and like maybe even have them be like a really small part in like the beginning of the movie and whatever. So I think it definitely has the potential. Percy Jackson probably won't watch it, but it has potential to be fun in its own right too. So yeah.
I will go to you, Chris. I've just got a quick draw in the chat. Brendan Fraser's last movie was not Furry Vengeance. He's been in a lot of movies since then.
He was just in Soderbergh's film.
Yeah, he was just in No Sudden Move. So I mean, there was a period of 5 years between the Nut Job and the Poison Rose in 2019 where he wasn't doing anything. But he's been in a lot of movies since Furry Vengeance, so that definitely was not his last movie. But Chris, what are your thoughts on the news?
So I'm about leaving I'm looking open. I can't wait to see what he does with Percy Jackson. Getting more and more confident. I'm ready into the casting, see how I feel. But with that defendant, I really wanted to movie on a TV show, but Disney, I think they did well with bringing back such and such. Money does they doing pretty well with right now, Disney Plus. And okay, what's the other news? Burberry, let's see how it goes. Along with not him catching him like he did the freaking Ghostbusters 2015, where that felt like him just crashing it in. And I saw Demon Theater. I was one of the people who actually mounted ready to see Demon Theater, and it was great to see on a big screen, especially visually. I can't wait for part 2. I was a little annoyed with the ending of part 1, but I'm also reading the book right now, so I'm interested to see where part 2 go, and hopefully I can understand more. I say we did joke because nobody said this is not going to feature full-time DC, and anybody like me watch HBO Max. He played fuck a lot on Doom Patrol. He played Robot Man. So see him go from Doom Patrol, where he's so freaking good in his devil, and to playing Firefly in Batgirl. Get me excited a lot, and I hope they allow him to say fuck a few times because the F bomb he uses in Doom Patrol is very funny at times.
But to move along, some of the other news we got: Anna de Armas is in talks to star in the John Wick spin-off movie Ballerina. Chris Pratt is getting another voice acting role as Garfield in a new animated movie from Sony. Because why not? Everyone loves Chris Pratt apparently. Robert Downey Jr. and Matt Damon have joined the cast for Oppenheimer. Boondock Saints 3 is in the works. Daniel Day Kim has joined Netflix live-action Avatar series as Fire Lord Ozai. We're getting Donkey Kong solo movie is also in the works with Seth Rogen with attached, obviously, because he's playing Donkey Kong and Mario. Taika Waititi is going to be directing Disney's Tower of Terror movie, as well as directing a movie adaptation of a comic book or a graphic novel called The Incal, Incal. I have no idea what that second one is. Sophia Boutella is going to star in Zack Snyder's next movie called Rebel Moon. Gal Gadot is playing the Evil Queen in Disney's new live-action Snow White movie. Gail Garcia Bernal is going to be the lead in Marvel's werewolf-centered MCU Halloween special. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande has been cast as Elphaba and Glinda in the new Wicked movie. And Emilio Estevez is not coming back for Mighty Ducks Season 2 of Game Changers. So, Stephen, any thoughts on this last bunch of news?
Yeah. Well, I loved Anna de Armas in No Time to Die, so I'm definitely looking forward to her doing more action. Although I got to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the John Wick franchise. But yeah, I know. But I'll still be looking forward to that. The Chris Nolan movies, I mean, Damon's previously done Interstellar, and Nolan does like to work with actors more than once, and it'll be cool to see Robert Downey Jr. with him. So Gal Gadot is playing an evil queen like Charlize Theron in the Snow White and the Huntsman movies.
Yes, the same evil queen.
I mean, I like Gal Gadot, but Gadot, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. I'm not sure. I'm really, we've already got a lot of those movies. I'm not sure I need another one, even with her. And I don't know how a Tower of Terror movie is going to work, so I don't know about that one.
But yeah, I mean, because I know, when the whole Gal Gadot announcement came out, I know our good friend Jordan Anderson sort of put up a big post talking about it. Like as I will repeat what I said on that post. The previous Snow White adaptations have got those are based more on the Grimm fairy tales because they're not Disney made. This is the first Disney live action version of Snow White, to my knowledge. That is, if you don't count Once Upon a Time, but
Yeah, about to say that.
So I mean, as I said, this is one that's going to be directly based on the movie, as opposed to the other ones which were taking in other things. But that being said, Gal Gadot is one of those ones that I don't know how she'll play a villain. Because unlike Brendan Fraser, who's one that I can see playing either way, but Gal Gadot is one of those ones I really don't know much about. But Chris Pratt voicing Garfield, I mean, I don't know how you can top Bill Murray, but apparently Sony wants to try it, and
hopefully he does a better job.
Hey, Bill Murray was great as Garfield.
Yeah, it's not Murray's fault. Blame the movie. Don't blame Murray.
I kind of side with Roger Ebert on those movies.
I mean, it's good to see Taika Waititi getting more work. I mean, I know Chris is probably going to touch on this, but I'm going to touch on it now. Look, as someone who does not know anything about Wicked, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande cast in this intrigues me because I do like what Cynthia Erivo has done in previous work. Ariana Grande is a pop singer first and foremost. But I've talked with one of my friends about this, who really does not like the casting of Ariana Grande as Glinda, because as she said, Glinda is a soprano role. But it's as I said to her, like, all we know about Ariana Grande is she's a pop singer, so we don't know if she can do the whole soprano things. Clearly, in the audition, she was auditioned, she must have shown something positive for this. So I'm going to go in this. And I mean, honestly, I don't think you can win when people do movie adaptations of Broadway shows, because a lot of people complain when they cast like big name actors who have no knowledge of singing, um, because that's one of the big complaints that I've seen for Russell Crowe. Even though Russell Crowe has been in a band before he became an actor, but that being
A whole
said,
other discussion for another day.
yeah. But once again, and people, there's a lot of complaining about this casting. So I think you can't please anyone. But anyway, Jordan, what are your thoughts on this bunch of news?
Yeah, let's see here. I am intrigued by Anna de Armas in more of an action role. I think that could be quite interesting. So that does seem intriguing to me. I love Chris Pratt. He does make sense for a lot of voices. He's a fun voice actor. I don't know about Garfield, man. I don't know if it's like you said that I'm associating Bill Murray, but I don't know. That doesn't seem right to me as much as Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong seems to make complete sense to me. That seems to be a perfect fitting in my mind.
Still better though than him voicing Mario.
We'll see. We'll see that too. We'll see. Rob Downey Jr., Matt Damon, two wonderful actors. Cool with that. I've actually never seen a Boondock Saints movie. My bad. So that's a blind spot for me. So I know it has a fan base though, for sure. Let's see here. Tower of Terror. If you want to know what it's like, check out the 1997 Steve Guttenberg, Kirsten Dunst movie. But I think Taika Waititi might do better. And his batting average is pretty good so far. So anything he does, I'm kind of instantly intrigued by. Zack Snyder's batting average for me is not great. So Maria Botella, hopefully it's better than The Mummy. As you said, yeah, interesting. We'll see how Godot does as a villain. I don't know. It is something that I do question, but I think she might have it in her. It might just be our preconceived notion of what we have seen so far. Because we haven't seen the other way. So instantly we go, oh, I want to cheer for her. Let's give her the chance to hate her. But I'm surprised it took this long to get a Wicked movie. There's definitely no doubt Cynthia Erivo though can nail it. I remember walking out of Bad Times at El Royale. Plenty of actors I knew and loved already, Bridges and Hemsworth, but walking out of that really thinking about her performance. And I just saw her recently perform on either Fallon or something like that, and she's stellar, man. She is so talented in every way. I love Cynthia Erivo. And Emilio, I don't know how that show can continue. I haven't seen it, but I felt like he was the main dude. So hopefully they find some sort of good way to keep that thing going. Joshua Jackson, he's still doing that doctor show.
I think that was a limited series.
There you go, Joshua Jackson, get in there. You need work.
But yeah, I mean, when I saw the title of Zack Snyder's movie Rebel Moon, I thought, is this going to be his version of Star Wars? But anyway, Chris, what are your thoughts on any of these news you want to talk about?
Getting Chris stuff out of the way. Chris Pratt, I take a liberty because I like him a lot, but he's getting a lot of voice out. I'm going to go. I'm okay with it. I'm waiting for judgment until I see Rachel Zelda, who did Snow White and West Side Story, to get more idea how I feel about it. Like, that's just Snow White. There you go. But Alana is better to have Disney live action stuff. Like, I really like what they did with Bella. I really like Disney talk going that direction, start doing something a little different than the animated one. But the two I do want to talk about, Dan Kim, huge fan of him. Love him since Law. Love his casting here at the main villain in Avatar: The Last Airbender. He had perfect casting there. And can't wait to see him use his acting skills the way you see him judge on Lost. I mean, he does that evil moment in Lost, his character, that he to show he could go to the dark side. Okay. Anybody know I am a huge theater nerd? Wicked is actually one of the first shows that made me fall in love with theater. So I got to see it with Kristen Chenoweth and Adina Menzel back in 2003. So this casting is something that I've been on edge about because I've been waiting to see who they cast. The one they got right, Cynthia Erivo. Huge fan of her. Got to see her in Color Purple on Broadway. And she's phenomenal singer. She's a phenomenal actress. Love what she did with Harry. I love what she did at Bad Time Out of Royale. Ariana Grande, on the other hand, I am nervous about because the only time I see her act, and she was awful in it with the Hairspray Live at Penny. So I'm hoping that her acting skills have gotten better since then. But at Giant 2, loving the hype, I had confidence he could get a great performance like he did with Leslie Grace in the height. Someone you don't associate with acting and stuff. So I here hoping, and I do hope he does not cast James Corden like some women have been hearing. But yeah, Wicked did be fun. Happy it finally happening. Love what he did with in the height. Can't wait to see what he does with Wicked. This is a musical I think a lot of people like. And I'm one of those people, I like Wicked more than Wizard of Oz. I think it's a better version of Wizard of Oz in a lot of ways. I'll take that.
I mean, Wicked is a prequel to Wizard of Oz, really. So, from what my understanding, it's not a version of Wizard of Oz anyway. But anyway, Kevin, what are your thoughts on any of these news?
The Wicked one, I'm really I was really disappointed by In the Heights. I didn't love it as everyone did. I just thought it was just pretty fine. Am I gonna go see Wicked? Yes, but I'm not gonna be much excited as because I've been screwed over by since I think the Universal. I've been screwed over by Universal musicals so many times. I'm like, I just can't take it anymore. The Chris Pratt Garfield one, I question that because I feel like I see Garfield sounding more like a lazy voice instead of Chris Pratt. But what can you do with it? What can you? The Donkey Kong spinoff. I'm interested, and I really hope if Seth Rogen will quote Donkey Kong catchphrase from the TV series Banana Slammer, I would double down, pay for it twice just to see Seth Rogen yell out Banana Slammer. The Tower Terror one.
Yeah.
The Tower Terror one.
Go on.
Right. The Tower Terror. I'm interested. I remember the Disney movies like so long ago. I'm like, I would not mind seeing Tiger direct it. And the Anna Armas one, I loved her in Knives Out. She was my favorite part in No Time to Die. I am full on excited for her to be in the John Wick spinoff.
Yeah, I do also agree. I did talk about that, but I loved the honor to Mona news as well. Huge fan of her, loving Knife Out and Blade Runner. Can't wait to see what she does there. And No Time to Die.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the announcement for the Super Mario Bros. Cast list came out, I said, well, I mean, clearly they go for a Nintendo Cinematic Universe, and obviously that's happening because of I saw the Donkey Kong spin-off coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
Now I'm just waiting for the Princess Peach solo movie.
Yeah.
Also voiced by Chris Pratt.
I should have got it. He voiced Zelda. I will watch.
How about a Duck Hunt movie?
I mean, I don't think they'll get to say. I mean, I don't think they'll get these. I don't think they'll get the same. I don't think they'll get Chris Pratt to voice Link or Zelda. And that when they eventually get to that franchise, I think it's especially if they want them to cross over in the movies from times. But with that being said, it's time to get into the main topic of worst movies we've ever seen. And I've got to go into this with two ways of thinking about it. First one I'll say is, what is the worst movie you've ever had to study for trivia? And this is not something that you've been asked about in trivia just on the cuff, but something that someone given you your strength, and it's got this really bad movie in it, that you have to watch to study for it. And I'll start with you, Jordan. What is the worst movie you've ever had to study for trivia?
I'll do a slight twist on the question. I usually make people watch bad movies. Like I have one thing I nominate in questions is Ready to Rumble, which is not a good wrestling movie, and I've had people get mad at me for it. That's my nomination.
Stephen, what is the worst movie you've had to study for trivia?
Well, I actually haven't had had to study for a specific category much. The one thing I'll say is when I was in the Nightmare on Elm Street match, I guess I watched Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare for it, and that's a pretty bad movie.
Kevin, what is the worst movie you've ever had to study for trivia?
Crimes of Grindelwald. I hate Crimes of Grindelwald. It brings me so much rage every single time I think of one little problem with it. I go on a long and ongoing rant about that movie.
Chris, what is the worst movie you ever had to study for trivia?
So for trivia purposes, just for the bigger Adelaide fans, I've read my first match of a given film. I try and remember the title right now. It's a Mingo Banking ripoff movie that kind of like head of work between where somebody have a jawbreaker put in their mouth, die, and they try to cover. I think right on the vitamins in it. And one of the worst coming age movie I ever had to witness and watch for studying purposes, just for the D-Cup round. It is a Mingo and a head of ripoff in a lot of ways. None of the jokes are funny.
Are you thinking of the movie Jawbreaker?
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to like. What is that thinking film? It just, I was just like sitting there, like, man, I have to remember all the different deep cut, and it like I wanted to end it so badly. It was unfunny. Some of the worst acting I've seen for any coming age movie. Like with some of the more cringy one line I ever heard. That it was just like I luckily won match despite the pain. But still one of the worst experience. And probably either that or thinking Wild Zombie Halloween 2. Like that were church is just true. Well. And Booker
Yeah, I mean,
Booker's Secret. I had to argue that for debate, man, between that and one.
And for me, one of the worst movies I've had to watch for trivia has to be hands down Fantastic. Like anyone in the geek leagues, there's so many different variations you get for this question. Like, go Fantastic and go Catwoman. You got Batman and Robin there as well. Like just about every category, and if you're competing in geek, has at least one bad movie there. That but yeah, but now to twist it up, and Stephen, what are some of the worst movies you've seen in general?
In general,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start. Well, Chris mentioned Halloween 2, and that's definitely down there. Okay, Catwoman, you mentioned briefly. That's definitely down there for me too. So I really like the movie Equilibrium, and I don't remember the director's name, but for his next movie, he decided to basically essentially remake it into Ultraviolet, and Ultraviolet was terrible, just absolutely awful. There is a movie with Dennis Rodman that came out in 1999 called Simon Says, which is one of the worst movies of all time. Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves is down there for me. Old Dogs with Robin Williams and John Travolta.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, whenever people bring up Battlefield Earth as John Travolta's worst movie, I would see Battlefield Earth 10 times before seeing Old Dogs one more time. And I'm not saying that Battlefield Earth is a good movie, but I would still prefer that over Old Dogs, which, Travolta and Williams are overacting so much. It seems like they're like trying to compensate for the terrible screenplay by overacting, but it doesn't work at all. And one movie that actually is a cult, has a cult following, but I thought it was really boring and I didn't laugh once, with Jack Black, is Nacho Libre. Those are just some. I mean, also there's all the bad spoof movies like Disaster Movie, Meet the Spartans, Epic Movie, Scary Movie 5, and yeah.
Kevin, what are some of the Bruce movies you've ever seen?
Oh, there's tons. One of them is The Devil Inside. It's sadly considered it's called a movie when it's not. It's just a movie that's it thinks it's trying to be itself a true crime when it's not. It's just a movie that suckers people by sitting through it and only to realize you've been scammed. Here, go to the website that doesn't exist. There's that. Lawnmower Man 2. I finally saw that movie. It's really not good. It looked like just people who just fast forward watching the first movie and only decide like, hey, let's make a sci-fi movie with kids in it. Like with this, like, all right, let's find a way to make it to the end. And ta-da! There's that. A Good Day to Die Hard.
Yes. Oh God.
Man, they managed to kill the Die Hard series with that, but not just making John McClane such an unlikable action hero.
And kind of annoying too.
Yeah. Also, it just destroys the laws of science when they set the final action scene in Chernobyl. Who does that?
Apparently, Fast and Hobbit action scene.
But Chris, what are some of the Bruce movies that you have seen?
Oh, I tell you, not go on too long on, because John Travolta wouldn't let me ever watch him in. That made me really piss off Gotti. Gotti is one of the worst date movie I took my girlfriend to see, Life Itself, not to be confused with the Roger Ebert I talked about, the one for This Is Us creator. One of the most depressing, like, hit you on the head that made me want to get up and leave after the guy just shoot himself in the first 20 minutes in the film. Like, that was something. Light Up Boston, another one that my girlfriend forced me to see in the theater. That was unfunny as hell. One of the first movie my parents took me to see, The Cat in the Hat. Like, I do not understand why people find that funny and find it one of the most unfunny insults to Dr. Seuss movies I've ever seen. That made me almost want to give up on my in general. Like, the reason why he doesn't make movies anymore, besides the vlog movie, that's one of them. Because stuff I took my sister to see. Alvin Chipmunk the sequel. Someone who loved Alvin Chipmunk growing up. Like, sitting in there and taking my young sister back in the day to see the sequel. With one in what appreciated pain. You had me talk about it many times before. Norman and North. One of the worst animated movies that I have ever had the pleasure of having walking on, working at the movie theater, seeing every minute of it. Mark Snyder should never do voiceover ever again. That the whole cast, from top to bottom, some of the worst voiceover performance on 9 Live. Favorite to the that mentioned. The one that some people love, recent musical. The most nightmare fueled movie that ever gave me nightmare and it would be for the pandemic. Cats. What the hell? As someone who defends like men and actually like King Speed, some people are dead to me thanks to that movie. Like, it one of the more like what the justice real type movie. Not even Jennifer Hudson could say that movie. And oh god, I took on like Batman, Robin, Catwoman, freaking Contract 5 with starting a freaking spaceship thing. Like, oh god, it did that on and on, but those on my list. Like, I got plenty more. Just gonna that need. Yeah, like,
Yeah, I mean, for me, and people that know me know that when it comes, I do like a lot of bad movies.
yes,
Not that bad.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I kind of have a soft spot for. Even though it's a movie that I do enjoy, I do know movie 43 is not good. It really
not
is.
good.
It is a movie that I think is so bad that it is good to me. But I mean, Artemis Fowl. I
Yep.
really enjoyed the books.
I mentioned that too many
I
times.
do not know what the hell Kim Spanner was doing with that movie, or what anyone was really doing with that in there. It just wasn't good. I mean, Cats is definitely out there. Fan Force, like I've talked about. And honestly, it was briefly mentioned earlier in the show, but I just watched Fury Vengeance for the first time today. That's not good. It really is not a bad good movie, and I like Brendan Fraser. I mean, The Lion King from 2019 is another one which is not that, but it's also one I kind of appreciate a little bit because there's some moments in there I actually thought was good, but on the whole, as a movie, it really wasn't. But with that being,
I consider it soulless.
go on, Kevin.
God, yeah,
I consider it solid, but not as bad as Dumbo. Dumbo to me was
Yeah.
the worst the live action stuff that made me piss off.
But with that being said, those that know me for these for late nights, I like doing a little fun with the topic. So I went through all the worst picture winners for the Razzie Awards. I randomized them into and so and there's definitely a lot. I ended up making 2 different brackets out of it. One of them I might actually end up using on
Do I not get a
for
turn?
a Facebook poll, but yes, Jordan, what are some of the worst movies you've seen?
This is the worst podcast I was on because I wasn't invited to the discussion. No. Yeah, no, I want to talk some trash too. Yeah, I mean, you go all day. You guys named a lot of good ones. I actually inadvertently studied for this last night because I wanted to throw on a comedy on Amazon Prime, and it's all good. And I clicked on Meet the Spartans. We could spend all day talking about some recently bad spoof movies, epic movie, disaster movie, all the bad video ones, 41-Year-Old Virgin. Meet the Spartans is barely a movie. It ends at an hour 7. They sing a song to get to an hour 10, and then they go, "Oh shit, we're still only at an hour 13." And they just throw in extended and deleted scenes. That's how bad this movie is. It's barely even able to chuck to an hour 20 something, and it's still made 85 million worldwide. So I that one I feel like has to be at the top of the spoof movies because it's barely a movie. It doesn't even really finish. It ends at an hour 12 with the song, and then goes deleted scenes that weren't funny for the shitty movie itself. Netflix has a bunch. Last Days of American Crime, Sextuplets. I think a lot of Tyler Perry movies are really weird. He loves to juxtapose, spousal abuse, death, and then a really lowbrow humor. I think his way is weird. Chips was super unfunny from Dax Shepard. Wish Upon. Talk about unnecessary horror remix like Psycho, and then Cabin Fever. The remake, like unnecessary. Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star. I like Nick Swartzen. He inspired me to a degree. One of the many people to like try stand-up comedy. I've paid to see him. Oh, he's so great in this, as well as Grown Ups too, which is useless. Adam Sandler, Cobra, Bucky Larson, bad. Bad sequels, Caddyshack 2, Jury Duty, Pauly Shore had us, and this is one of the reasons he lost us. Blair Witch 2 was mentioned. If you want to nominate a director, got to nominate Yui Bowl. That dude with Alone in the Dark, House of Dead, Blood Rain, which are all video game movies. Then even when he stepped outside of video games, Catwoman is pretty bad. Like at least Fantastic has like moments of like, oh, that could have been good. Catwoman's just off from the get go. Simon Says is pretty bad. Speaking of Dane Cook, that's an early Dane Cook movie. Good Luck Chuck is definitely a nomination for me. And yeah, Cats, self-indulgent, long. Oh, I felt tortured being in that theater. And then yeah, there's more, but yeah, we get to the bracket, start nominating some or start bracketing it.
Ryan, I think you misspelled Pirates 4 and 5.
Well, I like 5 actually.
I like 2, 3, and 5. So,
Oh yeah, I love 3. 3's actually my favorite.
But yeah, when I was on Jordan's show, tournament fights for worst movies, somehow Bucky Larson did not win that bracket.
It should have.
You should have won.
Yeah.
So many people said that, but apparently there's a few people. Jordan, one of them, who kind of likes that movie.
Oh, he's the first I've met.
I mean, also, I didn't make
the same people.
What person that likes that movie?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I took all the winners. I did take out some movies from this, especially some of the early ones that I thought that I don't think many people are actually going to know. So, I talk about there's a lot of the well-known Razzie winners here. I've got 2 brackets. I might use the other one as on the actual Facebook page. That I sometimes like doing bracket things there. But I'll bring up the bracket. The first matchup we have is Dukes of Hazzard versus Eddie Murphy's 1,000 Words. So, Jordan, I'm going to start with you. Out of those 2, which one would you say is the worst?
I'll go with the Dukes of Hazzard. I feel like that's pretty soulless. At least 1,000 Words, I feel like has right intentions to a degree. Dukes of Hazzard is it's one of those bad, like unnecessary TV remakes that ruins what the show was likable in the first place.
Stephen, which out of the Dukes of Hazzard and 1,000 Words, which would you say is the worst movie?
Well, Dukes of Hazzard is kind of actually a guilty pleasure for me. So I'll go with 1,000 Words, although I haven't seen it.
Kevin, out of Dukes of Hazzard and 1,000 Words, which one would you say is the worst movie?
I would say 1,000 Words. That pretty much it came right after the brought back of Eddie Murphy from 1,000 Highs, and it took another few years for him to come back.
Did he come back?
No, you're thinking of Norbit, which should be on this list.
It was nominated for Razzie, so I can't remember if it ended up on this bracket or the other one after I randomized all the winners. But Chris, out of Dukes of Hazzard and 1,000 Words, which one would you say is the worst?
I kind of with Steven here. I kind of get a chuckle out of Duke of Hazzard here and there. You give $1 to the pitch and punch him in the face. That's 1,000 Words. One of the more like bizarre Eddie Murphy movie I've ever seen. That not nervous, and it tried to be good, but at the same time feel manipulating, and none of it is funny. Like it's pretty bad movie.
Yeah. I also kind of like Dukes of Hazzard. I think it's a fun movie. So I've only seen. I only sort of made it through 30 minutes of 1,000 Words. I might go back and try and watch the whole thing at some stage, but for now, I found it's going to. I don't know if you can call it winning the bracket.
It survived.
Which doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. But next up, we've got Barbed Wire versus Showgirls.
Oh, God.
Stephen, out of these two movies, which one would you say is the worst one?
I've actually never seen Showgirls, so I'll go with Barbed Wire, which is pretty awful.
Kevin, out of Barbed Wire and Showgirls, which would you say is the worst movie?
Oh, God. This is pure horror. I'm going to say Barbed Wire because I believe with Showgirl, be bad.
Chris, out of the Barbed Wire and Showgirls, which would you say is the worst movie?
I luckily haven't seen any of these. I do have to watch Barbed Wire eventually for trivia purposes because this is on the list at a few places. But I go with Barbed Wire. I think my clip or two just for my top 10 worst thing, and it really did not sit well with me for watching. So Barbed Wire.
Yeah, I've also never seen either of these movies. But I'm going to go Showgirls because I'm not going to vote for a movie that's got Tim Morrison in it.
So mad
Jordan,
list a bunch.
Jordan, out of Barbed Wire and Showgirls, which would you say is the worst movie?
No, it's definitely Barbed Wire. There's nothing to it other than some boobs. Like that's it. Like at least Showgirls, yes, there's lots of boobs, but it's also trying for something and kind of fun bad. Barbed Wire is just bad.
And I didn't know this at the time, but apparently Barbed Wire is kind of like a remake in a way of Casablanca.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. How'd that make me now? Why is that part freaking trivia in a lot of ways?
It's based on a comic book. It's why it's eligible in the Geek Leagues. That's pretty much.
So, I don't want to watch it, but I do have to for freaking TNT.
I mean, what I say for most movie trivia things is like, well, you've got to watch bad movies. I mean, you're not going to stop and not ask questions about. As long as they're released in theaters, you're going to have to watch them. But anyway, the next backup we have, and yes, Alexander was nominated for a Razzie for Best Picture. We've got Alexander versus Lady in the Water. Chris, which out of these two movies, which would you say is the worst one?
Oh, these are bad movies. I barely remember seeing them, but I remember not liking either one of them. We own Alexander. I don't know why. Down the DVD collection. My parents buy good movies sometimes. I had to go with Lady in the Water. It's a really bad Shyamalan movie, and the twist is stupid. Shyamalan definitely is out in the movie really dumb. Easily won a Paul Giamatti worst performance. That not Amazing Spider-Man 2, but still pretty bad performance.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Alexander myself. So I'm going to go for Lady in the Water here. I mean, I don't remember if I've seen Lady in the Water, but I know if I ever do watch it, I'll remember if I've seen it or not. But that being said, I still kind of like Alexander. Jordan, out of these two movies, which one would you say is the worst?
So far, I'll go against the grain. I think I'll go for Alexander. I think it's a little messier. While Lady in the Water is not good and a little dullish, I do disagree that Giamatti's not good in it. I think he does as good as anyone could, if not better. It's just kind of a messy, dullish, a little bit of a whimper towards the end. But I thought Alexander is just a messier film. So,
Stephen, out of Alexander and Lady in the Water, which would you say is the worst one?
I guess it's confession time. One of my hot takes. I actually kind of liked Lady in the Water.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Watch out another Shyamalan movie. I hope get brought up here.
So yeah, I'll go with Alexander, which I fell asleep in actually.
Which means Kevin, it's on you. Out of Alexander and Lady in the Water, which one do you think is the worst movie?
I don't know. I feel like I would consider Alexander bad because I feel like it saved us that with its director's cut. But I'm gonna go with Lady in the Water because it really is bad. It's Shyamalan's second worst film.
Third verse. The two other movie ever above.
I was voting for the original cut, not the director's cut. Standard.
But Lady in the Water is going to move on. But next up, and yes, both of these movies, one of these movies was nominated for a Razzie. 50 Shades of Grey versus Friday the 13th. Which one
Now,
of
are
these
we,
do you think?
Are we
are we
talking
talking about
come
the reboot?
on.
the original?
The original Friday the 13th.
Oh,
It was nominated for a Razzie Award.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, I mean, this should be relatively easy.
It's not.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going 50 Shades of Grey here on this because I do like the original Friday the 13th. Jordan, Richard, out of 50 Shades of Grey and Friday the 13th, which is the worst.
I'm not the biggest Jason guy, so I can kind of see maybe why at the time this was nominated. But this is still easy. 50 Shades is a mess. Yeah, 50 Shades.
Stephen, the guy who said this was easy, isn't that easy. Out of 50 Shades and Friday the 13th, which is the worst.
I think they're both really bad.
Ooh.
Yep, I think the original Friday the 13th, especially the actress who plays Jason's mother, was, I thought, really awful.
Oh.
Actually, I know I'm going to be the lone voter for this, but at least 50 Shades of Grey had Dakota Johnson is hot and some of the sex scenes in that movie. So I'll go with Friday the 13th.
I will cut in here. If you haven't been watching the movies that made us, they just recently did one on Friday the 13th. It's really interesting to see what went into actually making this movie. Kevin, out of Friday the 13th and 50 Shades of Grey, which do you think is the worst?
I'm not gonna go for the chaos vote, so I'm gonna go with 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, it's that awful. That awful.
Chris, out of 50 Shades and Friday the 13th, which is the worst one?
This is not the worst out of the series. I had to go 50 Shades of Grey. It's so bad. I mean, the writing get worked with the sequel, but I seen bits and pieces of the first one, and it's just like a huge insult to me in so many ways. I don't understand why my girlfriend liked this movie and liked Twilight. I would never understand it. And I hope the second one get brought up because that's 10 times worse than this one.
Once again, I'm pretty sure the sequel ended up on the other bracket because I wanted to make sure that there was at least one per franchise on this one.
Yeah. And also, the
because
first Friday 50 is okay. The last 20 minutes is the best. First Friday 50.
But yeah, next up we've got talking about Mike Myers. We've got The Love Guru up against Crossroads. Jordan, out of these two, which is the worst?
I'm in no way I'm defending Love Guru, but I bet you every one of you laughed once or twice. Crossroads, there's nothing. You're not emotionally invested in any way. So Crossroads.
Stephen, between Crossroads and Love Guru, which is the worst?
I'm a Britney fan, so I liked Crossroads. I haven't seen The Love Guru, actually, but I'll vote for The Love Guru.
Kevin, between Crossroads and The Love Guru, which is the worst?
Crossroads, I didn't hate. I just felt pretty bland. Love Guru, on the other hand, I consider true torture what I had to deal with watching that movie. So my pick is the Love Guru.
Chris, between The Love Guru and Crossroads, which is the worst?
I forgot about Crossroad, and then my girlfriend introduced that movie to me while we were dating. So I hate both. I had to go with Crossroad. One of the worst movie I watched with my girlfriend. And much I respect Britney film now, I maybe did not like her as an actress back then. God, it's so bad.
But yeah, I actually don't hate either of these movies. These are a couple of my guilty pleasures here. But if I had to pick, I would have to go for the Love Group. I actually do like Crossroads a little bit more. Right, next up we've got Meet the Spartans, the first of the spoof movies on here, up against Nicolas Cage and Left Behind.
Okay. I was going to ask, but you answered. Is it the Nicolas Cage one or the Kirk Cameron one?
Yeah.
It's Nicolas Cage one.
God.
But Stephen, between Left Behind and Meet the Spartans, which is the worst?
Well, I actually haven't seen Left Behind, but it looks and it sounds and I hear it's really bad. But I mean, Meet the Spartans, I got to go with that because I've seen it and it is absolutely horrible.
Kevin, between Meet the Spartans and Left Behind, which is the worst movie?
Easily, it's Meet the Spartans. Easily.
Actually, just to make this quick, anyone not going Meet the Spartans?
No.
As I said before, it barely qualifies as a movie. It's that bad. Like, well, yeah, it wins.
Kirk Cameron Left Behind just be a different conversation, but it meets the Spartans.
Yeah, I've actually debated the Cameron one.
I mean, it's one of those ones like, unfortunately, for a movie to qualify as feature length, it only has to be 40 minutes.
No, I'm not arguing that. Like, yeah, I mean, it is technically by standards a movie, but I'm just saying, like, realistically, as a fan, it barely qualifies. Like, they did bare minimum.
No, I get what. But next up, we've got the Day Camp up against Cannonball Run 2.
And don't forget, this is the sequel to Cuba, right?
Yeah, this is the sequel that's got Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. Okay. Chris, between Day Camp and Cannonball 1 2, which is the worst movie?
Yeah, not the Cannonball 1 2, but Day Camp. It's so bad. The first one not that good either, but this is really bad. You think what Cuba Jr. career? This probably did, along with Home and Avengers. Yeah, this is a bad movie, Day Camp.
Yeah, I also haven't seen Cannibal 1 2, but I've seen Daddy Day Camp. It's not good. Gordon, between Daddy Day Camp and Cannibal 1 2, which is the worst movie?
Pretty much what you said, Malcolm. I don't know if I've seen Cannibal Run 2, but I've seen enough of Daddy Day Camp to nominate that too.
Stephen, Daddy Day Camp, Cannibal 1 2, which is the worst?
I have not seen either, but I would probably see Cannonball Run 2 before I would see Daddy Day Camp. So Daddy Day Camp, I will go with.
And Kevin, between Daddy Day Camp and Cannibal 1 2, which is the worst?
I have not seen Cannibal Run 2, but I definitely see Daddy Day Camp. My pick is Daddy Day Camp.
And Cannibal 1 2 just survives because no one's seen it.
This one's
next up, we've got Cocktail versus Waterworld. But yeah, I mean, I think I've seen both of these. But I mean, I did recently watch Cocktail for the first time this year. I don't get why it was up here and nominated for a Razzie. I actually quite enjoyed it, but I'm going Waterworld. Jordan, between Cocktail and Waterworld, which is the worst?
I mean, if we want to talk about slight guilty pleasures, Waterworld's kind of one of mine. So Cocktail gets the nomination.
Stephen, between Cocktail and Waterworld, which is the worst?
I am an unabashed, unapologetic fan of Waterworld, so I'm going. So I'll go with Cocktail.
Kevin, between Cocktail and Waterworld, which is the worst?
I've not seen Cocktail, but I have seen Waterworld, and I was pretty bored by it. So my pick is Waterworld.
Hello?
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 Yeah, I would Kevin here.
I'll go to Chris. I think Kevin's frozen on us.
Wait. Y'all can't hear me?
I can.
I can hear you. We can hear you now.
Oh,
I heard him before too, though.
Yeah, I heard him before too. I never lost him. I think.
I mean, it briefly froze for me on my end. So I didn't hear what he said.
Okay. I'll repeat what I said. I have not seen Cocktail, but I have seen Waterworld, and I was pretty much bored by it, so my pick is Waterworld.
Chris, it's on you. Cocktail or Waterworld?
I have seen either. I only seen the nostalgic credit review of Waterworld. I had to go with Waterworld because watching a review just showed me how bad the movie is. Nostalgic credit review.
Waterworld movie.
Don't worry,
on.
Steven. We won't let it go too far. I don't think he's gonna
But
believe
next up we've got the Blumhouse's Fantasy Island up against That's My Boy. Jordan, which is the worst?
I don't really know if I hate either one of these, but what's sloppier in my opinion? I'll go Fantasy Island. We'll get my vote by a smidge here.
Stephen, between Fantasy Island and That's My Boy, which is the worst one?
So I haven't seen either, but I thought the trailer for Fantasy Island looked okay, whereas That's My Boy looks like another really bad Adam Sandler comedy. So I'll go with That's My Boy.
Trailers are deceiving.
Kevin, between
That's all I
Fantasy
got.
Island and between Fantasy Island and That's My Boy, which is the worst?
I've seen both. Both are not really good. But That's My Boy angered me dearly. So my pick is That's My Boy.
Chris, between Fantasy Island and That's My Boy, which is the worst?
I think only one thing I've seen That My Boy. I had not seen Fantasy Island because I do not paint myself to tissue bad horror movies all the time. I had to go with That My Boy. As much as I love Amber, I just thought this is one of his worst films. It's easily like top 5 worst Adam Sandler film.
But yeah, I'm also going That's My Boy. I actually do kind of like Fantasy Island. I liked where they're going with this, and turning a show which wasn't horror in the first place to a horror movie. And also, if you haven't seen the recent television series reboot of Fantasy Island, it's actually pretty good. But next up, we've got another Travolta movie. We've got The Fanatic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm about to bring that up. Yeah.
Up against Blood Rain. Stephen, I'm going to start on you. Out of between these two, which is the worst?
Okay, I haven't seen The Fanatic, and I have seen Blood Rain, and Blood Rain is pretty bad. I'm going to go, though, with The Fanatic because I have seen Chris Stuckman's Hilariosity review for it, and oh my god, it looks so bad. I gotta go with The Fanatic.
Steven, you're lucky son of a bitch, you're so much irrelevant.
But Kevin, between The Fanatic and Blood Rain, which is the worst?
I've seen both, and surprisingly, The Fanatic is hilariously worse. So my pick is The Fanatic.
So I heard The Fanatic is hilarious, so I'm guessing you went with Blood Rain?
No, I went with The Fanatic.
Oh, yeah.
They're not the Simpson episode.
Chris, between The Fanatic and Blood Rain, which is the worst?
I seen bits and pieces of Blood Rain, and I seen Chris Stuckman hilariously review The Fanatic, and like, not watching that alone, it's the most bizarre film I ever heard of, and it looked bad. I take the bad. There's probably a John Travolta performance beside Gotti. I had to go with The Fanatic.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen either of these, but The Fanatic is a recent Travolta movie, and I don't think recent Travolta's been that good. So, Jordan, which way would you have gone with Blood Rain and The Fanatic?
I will be the outlier and go Blood Rain because I'll use what Steven said, but for the opposite reason. Maybe because I enjoyed the Hilariosity review. It looked fun bad, while Blood Rain to me was just bad. So I'll take fun bad over bad. So Blood Rain would have had it for me.
But next up, we've got Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice up against Deuce
Huh.
Bigelow, European
Oh
Gigolo.
God.
I'm going to start with Chris on this.
I am an ambassador defender Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice Elite Ultimate Cut version of it. I had to go over Dupe a little. I see as much as you can crap on Jesse Eisenberg and Doomsday at the end of Batman vs Superman, there's a lot of good stuff in it still, especially with Ben Affleck performance and the warehouse fight scene. Dupe Bigelow Champion Gigolo had no reason to be existing. It is awful sequel. And not funny at all. Neither the first one is that funny either.
Yeah, the year that Batman vs Superman came out, there's a lot of bad movies. I don't think it should have even been nominated. I do like Batman vs Superman a lot, so my vote's going Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. Jordan, which way are you going in this?
No, I think you both said it for me, man. Like, yeah, I'm not in love with Dawn of Justice, but there's still enough good to where, yeah, this is definitely maybe the best movie we've talked about on this list, in my opinion. European Gigolo is a bad sequel to, like what Chris said, not a great first movie either. So, yeah, European Gigolo by far.
Stephen, which way are you going?
Okay, I didn't know this was the sequel because I think I've seen the first one and I didn't particularly care for it, but I haven't seen the sequel. But I do like it's a very flawed movie for sure, but I did still like Batman v Superman. So I will go with Deuce Bigelow.
And Kevin, which way are you going?
I didn't like BVS, but even then, there are parts of it I did like from it. So my pick is Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. It's really not good.
But next up, we've got The Bodyguard up against Mac and Me.
Wait, The Bodyguard, is that with the one with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston?
Yep,
That
got nominated. It got
was
nominated
that
for
a
Best
Razzie nomination?
Okay, which means which means which one is voting for The Bodyguard?
I don't even know what Mac and Me is, to be honest.
E.T.
You don't want
If you just watch any Paul Rudd interview on Conan O'Brien.
But I mean, is anyone voting The Bodyguard for this?
Nope.
No. So
At the very
that makes
least,
it
it
easy.
gave us a good song. So how could?
Well, that's debatable.
Next up,
I don't think Adam Sandler sang it in the shower.
we've got The Adventures of Pluto Nash up against The Legend of Hercules, which I believe
Is that the one with The Rock?
no, it's the other one.
Oh,
John Morrison?
No.
No, I think it's that guy from Twilight and the Nightmare.
Oh shit!
Yeah, directed by Rennie Harlan.
that thing.
Alan Lutz.
Yeah,
Came out the same year as Hercules, though. But Jordan, between these two, which is the worst?
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! I'll go Hercules simply because I forgot it existed. So that's got to be bad, right? Yeah. I mean, this could go either way as far as I know. But yeah, Hercules. Why not?
Stephen, between Pluto Nash and Hercules, which is the worst?
Okay, I have not seen Pluto Nash since it was in theaters, which is way back in 2002. But I remember thinking it was okay-ish. Whereas I never saw The Legend of Hercules, but it just doesn't look good at all. Even though I do like Rennie Harlan, but I'll still go with The Legend of Hercules.
I liked Rennie Harlan.
Yeah.
Given between Pluto Nash and Hercules, which is the worst?
The Legend of Pluto Nash is forgettable, but The Legend of Hercules is really awful. So my pick is The Legend of Hercules.
So you voted for Hercules there, Kevin?
Yes, I'm picking The Legend of Hercules.
Yeah. Chris, between Hercules and Pluto Nash, which is the worst?
I might be the lone wolf here. Pluto Nash is awful. Like, even when rewatching review for Nostalgia, that remind me how bad it is. But bad back then and bad now, it's easily what toward the decline of Eddie Murphy's career was started. One of his worst movies, some of the most bizarre joke ever. Yeah, Pluto Nash is easily bad. I barely remember Legend of Hercules. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I barely remember if I've seen Hercules or not. I watched Pluto Nash for the first time last year. It's not good. I'm going there, even though Hercules is going to move on. The next one we have is Mummy
this is
Dearest
easy.
versus I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
This is easy.
You say it's easy. Like, I've not seen Mummy Dearest, but I like Chuck and Larry. I'm going Mummy Dearest. Jordan, between Mummy Dearest and Chuck and Larry, which way are you going? You're muted, by the way.
What's Mommy Dearest?
No more wire hangers. That's the only thing I remember about it. I know.
Oh, okay. Is that considered bad? Let's go Chuck and Larry. That was a little offensively bad.
Stephen, which way are you going on Mummy Dearest and Chuck and Larry?
I have not seen either of these movies. I'll go with Chuck and Larry. It doesn't look terrible, but it looks bland. So, Mommy Dearest, I really don't know anything about it other than the famous "No More Wire Hangers" line.
Kevin, which way are you going on Chuck and Larry and Mummy Dearest?
I'm gonna go with Chuck and Larry. Never saw Bobby Dearest.
Chris, which way are you going on Mummy Dearest and Chuck and Larry?
Mummy Dearest, I think I'm getting confused with another film that was a foreign language film. Chuck and Larry is pretty bad. I remember watching it with my dad. It's not that funny. The wedding scene itself is somewhat more offensive. There, everything, and you understand. Yeah, I now Chuck and Larry continuing to try to better Adam Sandler movie that deserve to be on the virtual list. Yeah. I think I'm getting Mommy Dearest confused with the one about the two sons torturing the mom. That one, like.
But next up we have Transformers: Dark of the Moon up against Zoolander 2. Stephen, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Okay, so Dark of the Moon is actually the one Transformers movie that I actually kind of liked, other than maybe Bumblebee. So I have not seen Zoolander 2. I wasn't a fan of the first Zoolander. I'll go with Zoolander 2.
Chris, which way are you going on Dark of the Moon up against Zoolander 2?
Dark of the Moon, okay moment that made me not hate it. The battle itself at the end is really great. I think Leonard Nimoy really good as villain. The stuff I like about it. Zoolander 2, I didn't even get past the first 30 minutes. I watched it with my dad. After the Benedict Cumberbatch scene, like, you want to not? We're like, yep, we never finished it. Thank God for it because it was some of the most unfunny shit. I haven't even seen the first one. That's it.
Kevin, Dark of the Moon or Zoolander 2?
I really like Transformers Dark of the Moon. I have no apologies for that. I hate Zoolander 2, so my pick is Zoolander 2.
Yeah, I really hate the first Zoolander just as much. And I think I watched Zoolander 2 because it came onto Netflix one day. I was like, I'll watch it. Let's move on. Jordan, which way would have you gone?
It's a clean sweep. I would love to vote down or vote up in this way a Transformers movie that I think are usually kind of whatever, but Zoolander too, man. And I am a fan of the first one, and it's even sadder that for me because that letdown of just bad.
I
So
doubt
what
it got
who's
better
moving
after the Cobra
forward?
joke because that one I stopped watching.
No, I've tried twice. It doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
But next up, we've got another pop star coming into Pink Glitter up against Jupiter Ascending. Chris, I'm going to start on you.
I'm speaking this voice. Eddie Raymond, yeah, Jupiter Standing. Oh my god, this movie is freaking bad. I mean, it take a cameo over in Eddie Raymond and get his voice performance. They made his okay thing right like Midslet. Yeah, Jupiter Standing never seen Glitter, but Jupiter Standing one of the first movie I ever had the pleasure of watching. It came out also around the same year as Tracy Joanne Moore movie. Like, yeah, this was the first for movie that week. Yeah. So I go with the Wolf, like, Channing Tatum, so.
Kevin, Jupiter Ascending or Glitter, which way are you going?
I don't hate Jupiter Ascending. I find it fascinating, and of course, I find Eddie Redmayne's performance there hilarious. Glitter is terrible, especially by the Christmas goddess Mariah Carey. But so it's just an ego trip for her. So my pick is Glitter.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers for Glitter and thinking, this looks good. I ended up winning a competition to get a free ticket to go see Glitter. I mean, see it as like, I'm glad it was a free ticket. I was going to Glitter. Jordan, Glitter or Jupiter Ascending? Which way are you going?
I'm gonna go with Glitter as well. Jupiter Ascending's not good, but it looks all right, and there is like moments, like I said, like Fan Force, where you're like, I could see a good film within this. Glitter's just whatever.
You guys are high on that.
We're not saying it's great. We're just saying.
I mean, you've never seen Glitter. You don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't talk.
Steve, Glitter or Jupiter Ascending? Which way are you going?
I have liked everything that the Wachowskis have done, and yes, that even includes Jupiter Ascending. So I will go with Glitter, which I haven't seen.
Besides the Matrix, had they done anything really good? Because like all of this,
I love Speed Racer, and I love the first season of Sense8.
Speed Racer is a guilty pleasure.
And I mean,
And the whole
Oh man, I
mean, I quite like this. I quite like the sequels to the Matrix. But next up, we've got Star Wars: Attack of the Clones up against Ben Affleck's Surviving Christmas. And I'm going to start with Kevin on this.
Ooh. But to be honestly, I don't hate Attack of the Clones. It's the second best of the prequels I enjoyed. So I'm gonna go with Surviving Christmas. It's not really good. It almost ruined Christmas for me.
Yeah, I mean, I like Attack of the Clones is definitely down there for my least favorite Star Wars movies. But my vote is still going to Attack of the Clones because Surviving, like, there's a lot of bad Christmas movies out there. I like most of them because there's Christmas the Crank Stick the Hills, which a lot of people do tend to bash on a lot. I quite like those. I think they're charming. Surviving Christmas I've only seen once, but I'm probably going to see it again this year. But I remember liking it. So just by here, I'm actually going to Attack of the Clones on this. Jordan, Attack of the Clones or Surviving Christmas, which is the worst?
Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, and I always support him. He's my favorite Batman. My Xbox handle is Ben Affleck. but I can't support that movie particularly, and especially over Attack of the Clones. I actually don't mind at all. So Surviving Christmas gets my vote.
Stephen, Attack of the Clones or Surviving Christmas, which is the worst?
I actually like both of these movies. I guess I'll go with Surviving Christmas. Actually, the romance doesn't work, but but every time Ewan McGregor's on screen, I think was great, and the last half hour of that movie is great.
And Chris, which way would have you gone? Surviving Christmas or Attack of the Clones?
Listen, I don't like Attack the Clone, but everything with Obi-Wan is the best part of the movie, and the scene with him and Christopher Lee when Obi-Wan gets captured is the best scene in Attack the Clone. Surviving Christmas is a bad movie. As someone who loved Jane Gandolfini, I like Ben Affleck. They did not deserve to be in this type of shit of a film. And not the first Christmas movie, two you mentioned, pretty bad. I had to go with Surviving Christmas.
Guys, I have to go real quick. I'll be right back in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't seen it, on Take 3, there's our buddy Matt Kuntz has got a video about the second look of Attack of the Clones, and he does defend it a lot, and so yeah. But the next matchup we have is Turkey Time, Geely up against Basic Instinct 2.
Oh god.
Jordan, I'm going to start with you on this one. Which is the worst movie?
I had to vote up a Ben Affleck movie once. I'm not going to do it again. So Basic Instinct 2 will get my vote. And I think Steven's back. Yeah, I agree. Basic Instinct 2.
It would have worked if you and Stephen were in the same house. But because there's already a screen here and I see that Stephen has just come back now, that trick is not going to work, Jordan.
Just close.
But Stephen, Geely or Basic Instinct 2, which is the worst?
I'll go with Geely.
Chris, Geely or Basic Instinct 2, which is the worst?
I try to remember I've seen either of them. I think Clint both are either of them. I had to go with Basic Instinct 2. The first movie is good, but this is one of the more unnecessary sequels. It just take what we get about the first one that shove it down the drain for writing. Geely, it's been talked about enough already, and it's not the worst Ben Affleck on all of it.
Kevin, Geely or Basic Instinct 2?
I've not seen Basic Instinct 2, but I have seen Geely, and it's awful. It's Ben Affleck's worst movie. While second place is Surviving Christmas, so my pick is Geely.
Reindeer Gamer would put those two in the worst.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of these movies, but I've seen clips of Geely and they're just really bad. I cannot believe Geely is directed by the same person who did Beverly Hills Cop 2. Beverly Hills Cop. And yes, it is the same guy that directed it.
Yep, Martin Brest.
Which is going to be a Ben Affleck off in the next round. But next up, we've got 2018's Robin Hood up against Indecent Proposal. Let's start with Stephen on this. Which is the worst?
So I have not seen either of these movies, but Indecent Proposal, it's got Robert Redford and Woody Harrelson in it, and Demi Moore back then. She was really hot back then, so I'll go with Robin Hood.
Chris, 2018's Robin Hood or Indecent Proposal, which is the worst?
And now see Indecent Proposal, but Robin Hood. For someone who did not like the Ridley Scott one, this is worse. It takes a lot about Robin Hood and take a huge shit pile on it. I do not like what they do with the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. I really don't like the Ben Mendelsohn subplot. It takes some weird turn. It tried to sequel bait, and it's really a bad sequel bait. I don't like the romance between Marion and Robin Hood. Jamie Foxx, the only good thing about it, but it's still a pretty bad movie in general.
Kevin, 2018's Womanhood or Indecent Proposal, which is the worst?
I've not seen a Disney proposal. I really don't like the 2018 Robin Hood. So my pick is Robin Hood.
Yeah, I also didn't like the 2018's Robin Hood. I haven't seen Indecent Proposal though, but it's got Robert Redford. How could it be bad? Jordan,
Yeah, Robin
Robin Hood 2018 or Indecent Proposal, which
I'm gonna get a clean sweep for Robin Hood.
But next up, we've got Charlie's Angels Full Throttle up against Little Man. Chris, which of these two is the worst?
I've seen both. I don't hate Charlie Angels Full Shot. I think there's some decent aspects to it, especially with the villain twist. I think it's interesting, and I like some of the small cameos. One of the original Charlie Angels. I had to go with Little Man, and not funny. It's really insulting at times. Yeah, it's so freaking bad that I almost forget who was in it, but I remember watching it with my dad and not once laughing at all through it. Why?
Little Man is the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin. Little Man or Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, which is the worst?
Easily a little bad. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. It's fine. It's pretty fine. I do laugh at Crispin Glover's appearance in the movie, especially him. His first dialogue is him just yelling. But Little Man, it's not funny. It's downright creepy at times.
Yeah, I mean, I like Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. It's easy, Little Man for me. Jordan, between Little Man and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, which is the worst?
I agree, man. I was surprised to see Full Throttle on this. By no means is it a favorite, but it's fine. I was surprised to see it. So Little Man's pretty bad. So Little Man, not the first time I mentioned Marlon Wayans on the show.
And
Might not
Stephen,
be
which way are you going?
Charlie's Angels Full Throttle has one of the moments in that movie is one of the funniest moments I've ever seen when Matt LeBlanc is trying to describe what Lucy Liu does for a living to John Cleese. And then Lucy Liu comes in, and it just gets even funnier. I'll go with Little Man. I find the Wayans brothers to be hit or miss at best.
I mean, more miss than hit in my opinion, but next up we've got Rambo: The Last Blood up against The Cat in the Hat.
Oh god.
I'm gonna start with Chris on this.
Yeah, I mentioned it before. I hate Cat in the Hat. I think one of the worst kid movie I ever sat through as a kid, and it's not funny at all. It's insult to Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss would be rolling his grave thinking about this film. It's an insult to his legacy. My kid easily one of his worst performers. Alan Baldwin don't know what he would do in the film. Same with Good Code of Fanny and the kid from Santa Claus and a bunch of other things. It's just so bad. Even Alan Cumming, I don't know what he was doing in the film. It's just it's pretty bad. Why?
And Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
But Kevin, Cat in the Hat or Rambo: Last Blood, which is the worst?
Easily without doubt, The Cat in the Hat. It is truly awful. The Rambo Last Blood, It's bad. It's really bad, but not as bad as the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the sequels to Rambo, I do not know which ones I've seen. I know I haven't seen this one because this is the most recent sequel. I did actually rewatch Cat in the Hat earlier this year. I actually don't hate it as much as other people do. But it's still what I'm voting for here. Jordan, which way are you going on this?
Last Blood was one of my biggest disappointments of that year, but not necessarily like the worst of that year. Cat in the Hat, as so far, I'm agreeing. Cat in the Hat gets my vote. I was gonna make an Alec Baldwin joke, but I don't want to get canceled, so just move on.
Stephen, but is it going to be a clean sweep?
Sure, I haven't seen the Cat in the Hat. I don't think I don't think Rambo: The Last Blood is very good, but the Cat in the Hat did look pretty bad, so I'll go with the Cat.
All I have to say, Steven, is that Matt Maya getting hit in the ball and him on a string in the gold dress. Man, yeah.
But next up, we've got the Avengers from '98 up against Gods of Egypt.
Oh, geez. Oh.
Kevin, which way are you going for the boost out of these two?
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Gods of Egypt is a fascinating levels of bad. It's nothing I would say it's awful, but I'm gonna pick the Avengers '98. Plus, also, I love making the joke of, "Oh my God, the Avengers is such a terrible movie." Do you mean the Marvel one? No, I mean this one, the '98 one.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't hate the Avengers '98 because I think Sean Connery is good in this movie. I've tried getting through Gods of Egypt many times. I still have not managed to watch the whole thing. It's like, I get about 5 minutes and it's like, "Oh, this is terrible. I'll stop this and do something else and go back to it." And every time I go back to it, it's like, I can't do this. Jordan, which is the worst out of these two?
I'm kind of with you, Malcolm, on this one. I haven't seen Avengers '98 since around '98, so it's not exactly a favorite of mine. But Gods of Egypt, yeah, is something I don't think I've ever really finished or really have the feel to. So Gods of Egypt will get my vote.
Stephen, which way are you going on this?
I mean, the Avengers has three really great actors with Uma Thurman, Ray Fiennes, and Sean Connery, and yet all three of them, especially Fiennes and Thurman, are so stiff and so wooden. The movie does have some kind of cool visuals, though, but I gotta go with the Avengers because Gods of Egypt isn't good, but it's not Avengers level bad.
Which means, Chris, it's on you to decide which of these two are going through.
These are two very bad movies. I barely remember the Avengers because Sean Connery in a freaking pink costume or something. Not an image you want and you type. God of Egypt is just awful movie. It takes you after respect with Gerard Butler and then the guy from Game of Thrones. I forget how you pronounce it. It's just a bad movie all around. Jeffrey Butler doesn't know what he's doing in the film. I had to go over top. God of Egypt.
I don't know what happened to Alex Proyas because his career started off so great with The Crow and Dark City, and it's just been downhill from there.
Oh, we're getting to
But
the Kirk
next up, we've got. But next up, we've got the Wicker Man up against 99's The Haunting. Two horror remakes. I'm going to start off this because I like The Haunting with Liam Neeson. I don't hate it. The Wicker Man, I just don't like. It's good for the memes or the beams, if you want to go that way. But that's about it. Stephen, which way are you going on The Wicker Man or The Haunting?
Did Jordan have to leave?
He's still here. He's just turned his camera off.
Oh,
He's
okay.
probably gone away to grab something.
Oh, okay. Between these, yeah, I actually kind of thought The Haunting was okay. I'll go with The Wicker Man.
Chris, which way are you going?
Both of these films are bad. Recommend is actually fun to make fun of. I love the bear meme every time he had a bear outfit. That one joke I see on the Starter Critic cracked me up all the time. But yeah, Recommend is bad. Haunting is bad, but late and not something that irritates me. Recommend is pretty bad, despite the hilarious meme and the hilarious joke the Starter Critic does. Is it?
Jordan, Recommend or The Haunting, which is the worst one?
Yeah, I don't mind The Haunting either. I just recently rebought it on Vudu for a rewatch because I don't know. I remember liking it growing up on VHS. I think I rented it pre-owned or bought it pre-owned at Blockbuster. That's an old sentence. Yes, I think it's better than Wicker Man, so I'll go Wicker Man.
Which means The Wicker Man is moving on. Kevin, which way would have you gone?
To be honest, I would have gone The Wicker Man. I always forget about The Haunting, but The Wicker Man, it's just an artistically hilariously bad that I'm just like, wow. It's like a car crash. I can look away, but I just want to turn. But it's like, wow, how that bad?
But next up, we've got Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas. Also a name of a great team name in Full Metal. Up against Howard the Duck. Jordan, which is the worst out of these two movies?
Oh, that isn't that the $1 million question? Oh boy. I don't know. It depends on like what kind of argument you want to make. I probably have to go. Saving Christmas is going to be my vote.
Stephen, which way are you going for? Saving Christmas or between Howard the Duck?
I think I saw Howard the Duck when I was a kid, but I don't remember it at all. I'll go with Saving Christmas because anything Kirk Cameron is probably going to be one of the worst.
Chris, Saving Christmas, Howard the Duck, which is the worst?
I'm still looking for this one out of bad movie. This is easily Saving Christmas. It is like not to say a bad Christmas movie, then someone telling you how great Christmas is and not getting a full meaningful scene in. Kirk Cameron, one of the freaking worst filmmakers out there, as who at a bunch of stuff. Like I hate every one of his movies. Yeah, Saving Christmas.
Kevin, which way are you going? Saving Christmas or Howard the Duck?
Oh, easily Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas, bar none.
Yeah, this is a clean sweep. Howard the Duck is fun bad. Saving Christmas, I actually haven't seen, but I'm not gonna. I don't. I'm not. I have fun watching Howard the Duck, guys.
Hey,
But
looks like you got some bots.
That was bad, John. Review of
Oh,
Saving Christmas.
you've never. That's how you know you've made it. Where you start getting sex spots. Who knows? Talking about bad movies is hot. But next up, we've got movie 43 up against the 2017's Mummy. Stephen, which is one of these is the worst?
Well, I haven't seen movie 43, but I
Here you
know. Oh, that's actually on. But you know what? I'm gonna go with movie 43 because I know I'm the only person that liked it, but I liked The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Chris, Mummy or movie 43, which is the worst?
You know where I'm going with this, I'm ready for you. My God, what mess this is. I think the Mummy is bad at point, but I think I have some deficiency. But to see Patella try to save the movie, I think Jake Johnson also trying to save the movie. It's just like so bad. But movie 43 should never have been made. It's joked that nobody should look like. You want to torture somebody to put on great way to torture somebody.
I'm just astonished at how many great actors are in that movie.
But Kevin, movie 43 or The Mummy from 2017, which is the worst?
Oh, this one's tough for me. But
Is it?
yes, but I'm gonna go with The Mummy. Here's why. Because they wanted to start a dark universe. It all was there to start a universe with The Mummy, and it failed massively. It's a lesson to be learned to people on how not to start a universe. So my pick is The Mummy for worst.
Yeah, this is easy for me. It's The Mummy. The Mummy was terrible. I mean, it was a waste of Tom Cruise. And by this stage, everyone knows my thoughts on movie 43. If you don't know my thoughts about movie 43, then I don't know what to say to you. Which means, Jordan, it's on you. Movie 43 or The Mummy 2017.
I'm making the right decision here. Look at my name. It's movie 43. I'm sorry, Malcolm. There's a couple of okay skits that almost redeem it, but then the bad comes both before and after, and then
This is Hugh Jackman. All ever say for probably this shit.
Jackman with balls, bad Richard Gere skit about naked eye pods or some shit. And no, bad movie.
Next up, we have In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale up against the Bonfire of the Vanities. Kevin, I'm going to start with you on this one. Which one is the worst?
I've not seen The Bonfires of Vanities. I have seen Name of the King. It truly is awful. My God, it's Uwe Boll trying to be a Lord of the Rings, trying to do Lord of the Rings with with the video game series A Dungeon Siege, and he failed massively with this one.
Yeah, I'm one of those ones that when I heard Dungeon Siege was getting a movie made of it, I was excited. Then I saw Uwe Boll's names, like shit. I also haven't seen The Bonfire of the Vanities, so I'm going to go with The Name of the King. Jordan, which way are you going on this?
Yeah, I brought him up in my little spiel. Got to go Uwe Boll in the Name of the King. It's bad. All his movies are. Funny story, like Matthew literally talking about how like Burt Reynolds messed up his lines, was kind of done for the day, and they just kind of went with it. Like that's the kind of level of filmmaking we're dealing with here.
Stephen, In the Name of the King or Bonfire of the Vanities, which is the worst?
Okay, I'm not saying that it's a good movie because it's not. But compared to his other movies, I think In the Name of the King is actually not as bad as it could have been.
I know what he means.
Yeah, and somehow Jason Statham still manages to be cool and badass in the movie, even though it's a Uwe Boll movie. Uwe Boll, however you pronounce his name. But I haven't seen The Bonfire of the Vanities. I'll still go with In the Name of the King.
And Chris, which way are you going on this?
Hey, every Uwe Boll movie had one good actor in it, and they should can't say the movie. Not even Jason Statham. Not even Ben.
Well, there's a lot of good actors in it.
Yeah, it's just like I had to go with The Name of the King. I never heard of Bonfire of Vanity, so it's the first time I'm hearing of it. But yeah, Name of the King just awful. Oh my God, I hate Uwe Boll as a director. I'm happy he haven't done much movie lately.
He retired, I think.
The Bonfire of the Vanity stars Tom Hanks, Bruce Willis, and someone else. I can't remember who was.
It's a crazy cool cast based on a really well-received book.
Melanie Griffith.
Yeah. And someone big directed it, but I don't remember who.
But yeah, next up we've got Little Nicky, another Adam Sandler movie up against The Lone Ranger. I'm going to kick this off. Little Nicky's terrible. I mean, Lone Ranger's fine at best, but Little Nicky is almost unwatchable. Jordan, which way are you going for Little Nicky and Lone Ranger?
Oh man, I remember Little Nicky theater experience. I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. I'm a '90s kid, and I remember seeing Little Nicky, and like even then at like 10, going, I think he's on the way down, because like this was the first sign of like, oh, that didn't quite work. Now did it? Lone Ranger doesn't work completely either, but I actually don't think it's. Again, I don't feel like it's the worst. So, yeah, Little Nicky will get my vote too.
Uh, yeah. But before we go on, I had to double check this just to make sure. But one new bold movie that's not going to be in this bracket or in the other one is this one, because somehow it was not nominated for
Ergo
Worst
was
Picture.
Yui Bowl.
Aragon was a Yui Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aragon
I thought
actually
it
had a
was.
budget.
Anyway, it's still a terrible movie. It still wasn't nominated. Stephen, what do you say about Little Nicky and Lone Ranger?
So it's a little on the long side, and it's tonally inconsistent. And Johnny Depp does give kind of a bizarre, performance in that he's kind of Tano is kind of a tragic character, but he's playing it very broadly for laughs a lot of times. Despite all of that, I really like the Lone Ranger a lot, so I'll go with Little Nicky.
Chris, Little Nicky or Lone Ranger?
Maybe one person is silent. I do not like the Lone Ranger. I saw that and seen it with my dad, and even then I knew it was bad. Johnny Depp, Tonto, I think, is really offensive at times. I think really Fiction is the only one giving a good performance. Boring and nonsense. Could take a while to get to good action, and even then the action not that great. Easily one Jerry Bruckheimer's worst movie he produced. Yeah, I do not like Lone Ranger. Little Nicky is Little Nicky, but Lone Ranger that pissed me off in all a different way, and it had a cannibal Army Hammer.
Kevin, Little Nicky or Lone Ranger, which way would you have gone?
I would have gone with Lone Ranger, and it's really bad, especially with disgraced and creepy actor Army Hammer there, and the offensiveness of Johnny Depp, and I said that all that stuff in my movie Battlegrounds match.
But next up, we've got Vanilla Ice is Cool as Ice up against Pearl Harbor. Stephen, I'm going to start with you on this.
I don't hate Pearl Harbor, so I'll go with Cool as Ice.
Chris, Cool as Ice or Pearl Harbor?
I hate Pearl Harbor. I think it up there and what might be worth movie as it does taking a tragedy of Pearl Harbor that trying to make a romantic story around it. It did not work whatsoever. They should have just that to the true story of Pearl Harbor and not make a romance triangle, love triangle story.
I mean, does that mean that any tragedy is you shouldn't make a love triangle about?
I think that you should try to stay true to the story itself and not.
Oh crap! I feel like my heart will go on now.
I mean, honestly, I think Michael Bay saw how well the love story of the Titanic's like, oh, we can, you know what? A tragedy really needs a Pearl Harbor.
In Titanic, it worked around with the story of what happened with the Titanic. Pearl Harbor just felt like, why just need it?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. For Titanic, it worked. But anyway, it's not about Titanic. It's not going to come up at all. Kevin, Cool as Ice or Pearl Harbor, which is the worst movie?
I don't know, Pearl Harbor. I think it's not pretty bad. So my pick is with the Vanilla Ice movie Cool as Ice. I mean, come on, it's a Vanilla Ice movie. Vanilla Ice movie. Come on, how could I not pick that? Cool as Ice.
Yeah.
It's Cool as Ice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also I didn't hate Pearl Harbor. I mean, it's not a good movie, but I mean, I haven't seen Cool as Ice. I've seen enough clips to know that it's bad. Jordan, which way are you going, Cool as Ice or Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, I mean, at least Pearl Harbor, I feel like is just trying to, to a degree, tell a worthy story. So, got to go with more of a cash grab, bad, cool as ice for me.
Zayas moves on.
Oh, on a mask come up.
Next up, we've got Cobra versus Godzilla 98.
Odd.
I'm going to start with Chris on this.
That Lord of Fish. Let's go with Godzilla. Like, this is. Ooh. As someone who loved Ferris Bueller, I love The Lion King. When you talk about Matthew Broderick, easily one of his worst performers, you got to be on Godzilla. I mean, what they do to Godzilla itself is really bad. I don't like the cliffhanger ending. Just stuff I don't like about it. Load of Fish line is easily one of the most cringiest lines ever. Yeah, Godzilla. Cobra is a fine, okay movie at best.
Kevin, Cobra or Godzilla? Which way are you going?
Oh, either the Godzilla 98 is really bad. I mean, the only good thing came out of it with the ant was the cool 90s animated series about it.
Yeah, I don't hate Godzilla. I'm actually going to go Chance Ellison. So I mean the Cobra. Jordan, which way are you going between Cobra and Godzilla?
I'm gonna go with Godzilla. I mean, maybe just because it sticks out to me more as kind of a mess and a letdown than Cobra for me, which I think it kind of plays in its own wheelhouse fine to a degree. So Godzilla.
But Stephen, which way are you going on this?
I actually really liked Jean Reno in Godzilla. Yeah, I love the fact that when he tries an American accent, it's an Elvis impersonation. that always got a chuckle for me. But I'm still gonna go with Godzilla. It's not good. I vaguely remember Cobra, but not really.
And think nope, there's still more matchups. I think these is the last three matchups. So we've got Vampires Suck up against Jaws 3D. Kevin, which is the worst one? Actually, you know what? Not going Jaws. You know what? Not going Vampires Suck.
Not going.
As in, are you voting for Jaws, or is everyone agreeing Vampire Sucks wins?
Yeah, Vampire Sucks wins.
I actually thought about mentioning it, and I was like, no one's gonna remember this piece of shit, so I didn't even mention it.
I don't even know what it is, but the Jaws sequels are guilty pleasures.
You know, it's pretty much Jason Weaver and Eric Seltzer version of parroting Twilight.
Oh, it's one of those spoof movies from them.
It's Meet the Twilight instead of Meet the Spartans, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that moves on. Next up, this one's going to be interesting. Got the Emoji Movie up against Cats. So, Gordon, I'm going to get you to go first on this.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue whatever wins here, but I'm gonna go Cats. I just thought it was in general, even if it was made better, I felt like it's a very self-indulgent, long, and then just poorly made with the CGI. Emoji Movie, I feel like could probably fit what it was trying to be as just visual porn for kids. Like, I don't know, Cats. What? I don't want to talk about it.
Jordan, please don't ever mention the word visual porn for kids.
No, you know what I mean? Like, it's just blah, kids, look, it's bright colors. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's there's not story, it's not funny, it's just blah, kids, be blinded by this. Sit down and shut up 2 hours.
Stephen, which is the best movie, Cats or the Emoji Movie?
I mean, I haven't seen either. Cats looks worse though, so I'll say Cats.
Chris, Cats or the Emoji Movie, which is worse?
These are both bad movies, and I forgot about the Emoji Movie. I would have mentioned my wish list. Cats is all kind of bad. I had to go with the one with James Corden Lily get hit himself. Oh God, I can't even stop. Kid Cop Emoji Cat, yeah. And much as Emoji Movie badly, you got passed through a bunch of good voice actor cast. It's just, oh God. Just get Cats away from me. I don't ever want to think about that film ever again.
Kevin, Cats or the Emoji Movie? Which is the worst movie?
I'm gonna go with Cats. Cats, like I would say this: the Cats it's one of the most weirdest experience I've ever seen in a movie, and it's the rare movie where I saw the Christmas Day with my brother and cousins, and I'm like when they say, "So what do you think? So what do you think, Kevin? So what do you think?" I'm like, "Wait, I'm gonna like wait till we get a car. I'll give my opinion." The moment with the car, I'm like, "What the fuck is that? What did I just watch? What was that?" And so it led me to a loud freak out yell moment. So I'm like, "So yeah, my vote is Cats."
I
Um,
work at the movie theater when we had it, and me and my coworker every day would talk about how crappy it is. Like, we go through the detail about it.
but yeah, I'm going Cats on this. Like, the Emoji Movie is one that, yes, is a bad movie, but I saw what they were trying to do with this movie, and I think if it was sort of tightened up a little bit, I think it could have been a good movie. There's no way I saw anything in Cats that could make it a good movie.
No.
I mean, let's face it, no one really likes the actual stage play of Cats, so
I think one good acting memory, and that barely coming the last half hour of the actual movie.
I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber had to get to a support dog because of how much he hated the movie version of the Cats.
He hate almost every one of the movie versions that done. A lot of his musical movies did not work out well.
Cats has a lot of good actors in it too, though, because Ian McKellen's in it.
I mean, Phantom of the Opera was good. Anyway, next matchup we have is Congo versus Son of the Mask. And Stephen, which of these is actually anyone not going Son of the Mask?
I like Congo a lot.
Yeah.
I love Congo. I would just
not which on my enemy. Son of Mask.
I love quoting Congo. Stop eating my sesame cake.
But anyway, you could have to see Cats again, Chris, because we've got Cats versus Son of the Mask. I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going Cats. Jordan.
This is actually tough in a weird way because Son of the Mask is bad, man. I'm gonna see Jamie Kennedy live pretty soon, and I think even he would admit. I think he has an interview. It's like messed up this was. Honestly, as much as I just shit talk Cats, I'm gonna go Son of the Mask. I'm gonna try to make this a little more interesting because if there's almost not even good acting, like there's good actors, but there's nothing kind of redeemable from what I remember.
Stephen, Son of the Mask or Cats, which is the worst movie?
I mean, I haven't seen either, but although they both look really bad, Son of the Mask looks even worse. So I'll go with Son of the Mask.
But Son of the Mask or Cats, which is the worst?
Oh God, which one is worst? I hate both. Both give me nightmares for weeks. I go with the Nightmare Baby, or should I go with kids facing cockroaches and mice? I had to go with Cats. They're not image of that film alone that scarred me for life. That scene, Ian McKellen licked a bowl of milk, and that. Oh God. Yeah, Cats.
Which means, Kevin, it's all on you. Cats or Son of the Mask, which is the worst?
Oh, I'm gonna easily go with Son of the Mask. Son of the Mask is, as both of them are weirdly, creepily animated. Which Cats I don't mind because that one did not market itself as a kids movie. Son of the Mask, on the other hand, it's a kids movie, so and it is really disturbingly creepy.
Dude, he's right. Like it will give you nightmares. Like it's like the designs are just.
But next up we've got
comment on Taylor Swift.
But next up we've got Godzilla 98 versus Vampire Stark. Anyone not going Vampire Stark?
Well, now I know what it is. Somehow it probably makes Godzilla look good by comparison.
Godzilla looked worse. I thought.
Okay, so I am actually going to do this because Chris has kind of made me decide to do it. Jordan, Godzilla 98 or Vampires Suck?
No, Vampire Suck. Godzilla has a couple good moments. Vampire Suck is, like I said, I almost mentioned earlier.
Steven, Vampires Suck or Godzilla 98?
Vampires suck for sure.
Chris, Vampires Suck or Godzilla 98?
Godzilla 98, what they did to Godzilla is unforgivable in a lot of ways, and I saw a Godzilla fan that film pissed me off certain way.
Kevin, Godzilla 98 or Vampires Suck?
Vampire Sucks easily. It is really not funny at all.
Oh god, now we have Vampire Stuff
Yeah.
versus some.
Yeah, I'll go Vampire. Next up, we've got Little Nikki versus Cool as Ice. Which is the worst? Stephen.
I don't remember what Little Nikki was up against, but I only voted for Little Nikki because I think he was up against something I thought was but I'll go with Cool as Ice.
Chris, Little Nikki or Cool as Ice?
I only seen Little Nikki and had not had a pleasure watching Cool Eye yet. Despite I can't be a love and support for very long, I had to go Little Nikki. It's really bad and understandably the truth.
Kevin, Little Nikki or Cool as Ice?
Cool as ice.
Yeah, I'm still going Little Nikki. Yeah, I'm actually going Little Nikki. I hate that a lot. Like I'll probably watch Cool as Ice million times before I even go back to Little Nikki. Jordan, it's on you. Which one of these is going to go through?
You know, just because Rodney Dangerfield is grandpa, I'm gonna go Cool as Ice gets the vote for worst of these two.
Next up, we've got movie 43 up against In the Name of the King.
It did just saying.
Chris, which is the worst, In the Name of the King or movie 43?
You know where I'm going with it. Movie 43. Hugh Jackman get alone deserve to be on the list of some of the worst shit I ever at this room.
Kevin, movie 43 or In the Name of the King?
Sorry, Malcolm. I had to go with movie 43 on this one.
I'm going In the Name of the King. U-Bowl is terrible. Jordan, movie 43 or In the Name of the King?
Well, somehow a Yui Bowl movie is not advancing in the worst list. I'm gonna go movie 43, maybe because I'm on the scene now with Halle Berry and Stephen Merchant, which is also dreadful.
And Stephen, which way are you going?
If it was any other Yui Bowl movie, I would vote for that. But since I didn't hate completely In the Name of the King, I'll go with movie 43.
Jordan, stop watching the movie. Just force yourself to finish watching the movie.
Which means we've got movie 43.
It's great background fodder.
But next up, we've got The Wicker Man up against Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas. Chris, which of these is the worst?
I think there might be a clean for you here. Saving Christmas. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's just like Kirk Cameron should not be working today, and him trying to talk down to us, thinking we are dumb as shit, and him telling us how Christmas is great, everything. Some of the worst thing I think a person can do in this film.
Kevin, Wicker Man or Saving Christmas?
Saving Christmas easily.
Yeah, I'm going Saving Christmas on this. I'd much rather rewatch The Wicker Man before I even think about trying to watch this. I've seen enough of this to know it's bad. I mean, this movie may have some growing pains to do before it gets good, but it still hasn't gotten good in the clips I've seen. But Jordan, which of these two is the worst?
Keep it go. Give another thumbs up, or thumbs up in this case. Saving Christmas.
Stephen?
I would rather watch The Wicker Man again than seeing Saving Christmas for the first time.
Next up, we've got the Cat in the Hat versus the Gods of Egypt.
Should we just call it Dream?
I mean, anyone not going Gods of Egypt?
I don't know.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta think too.
So we're going to do the vote. Kevin, Cat in the Hat or Gods of Egypt, which is the worst?
Cat in the Hat. I really don't hate Gods of Egypt that much.
I mean, I've still have not gotten the courage to try and watch the whole thing, so I'm going Gods of Egypt. Cat in the Hat, I think, is slightly charming in places. Jordan, Cat in the Hat or Gods of Egypt?
I'll go with you, Malcolm. I'm gonna give it a Gods of Egypt for me personally.
Stephen, Gods of Egypt or Cat in the Hat?
Although it is sad to see how far Alex Proyas has fallen, I will still go with the Cat in the Hat.
Chris, Cat in the Hat or Gods of Egypt?
All I need to say to you is Mike Myers getting hit in the ball and pretending to be Rihanna and Trinidad Trinidad in a girly dress with music playing back pink unicorn. Cat in the Hat is the most precise sound and match on the most nightmare images you don't ever want to see. Like, and a joke about a hoe that is just one of the most, what the hell am I sitting in a kid's film?
But next up, we've got Little Man up against Robin Hood. I'm going to start this one off. Look, Robin Hood is bad, but it's not Little Man. Little Man is terrible. Jordan, which way are you going on Little Man versus Robin Hood?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that, Little Man. It seems egregiously worse to me as far as just Robin Hood's kind of just bad and forgettable.
Stephen, which way are you going?
I'll go with Little Man. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Little Man is going through. Chris, which way would you have gone on this?
I ain't going the same way, Little Man. I think Robin Hood is a dumpster fire, but Little Man is one of the more offensively bad movies on this list.
Kevin, which way are you going?
I should probably get a broom and declare it a clean sweep. I'm gonna go with Little Man. It is really offensively and creepily bad.
Next up, we've got Ben Affleck Surviving Christmas up against Ben Affleck and Geely.
Oh yeah, Ben Affleck.
Jordan, which of these is the worst Ben Affleck movie?
Oh man, this round saddens me as an Affleck fan. As far as the worst movie, probably Shigley. Yeah.
Stephen, which of these is the worst?
I don't hate either, but I will go with Geely.
Chris,
Yeah,
which of
Geely.
these is the worst?
Geely for me, I think Surviving Christmas is bad, but Geely is all kind of bad from what I've seen of it.
Kevin, which of these is the worst?
I'll go with my number one worst Ben Affleck movie, Jiggly. That's my pick.
Yeah, the only thing I need to say is gobble gobble, it's turkey time. Geely.
There's been so many attitudes of Geely. Definitely.
Next up, we've got Zoolander 2 up against Glitter. Chris, Zoolander 2 or Glitter, which is the worst?
Since I only see one of them, and I can't even get past the first 30 minutes, Zoolander 2. Secret that
Kevin,
never
Zoolander.
was there ever.
Kevin, Zoolander 2 or Glitter, which is the worst?
Easily Zoolander 2. Truly unfunny.
Yeah, I've got to go Glitter here. Glitter is terrible. I would actually go back and watch Zoolander 2. Rewatching Glitter. Jordan, which way are you going?
Have fun, Steven. I'm going with Glitter. You settle this crap debate.
I mean, they both look bad, but I think Zoolander 2 looks worse to me.
It's probably a film that people have seen, and there's a film people have.
Next up, we've got Legend of Hercules up against, I'll now pronounce you, Chuck and Larry. Kevin.
Easily Legend of Hercules. It's really bad.
I mean, once again, I don't know if I've seen Legend of Hercules. I know I've seen the Rock one. But I do like Chuck and Larry, so it's still Legend of Hercules. Jordan.
Yeah, well, Chuck and Larry has some really bad moments that didn't hold up then and hold up even less now. There is still laughs in it. Legend of Hercules gets my vote for sure.
Steven.
Another director who has come down severely, Rennie Harlan for The Legend of Hercules.
And Chris, which way would you have gone?
I be the only impression on this island. I now pronounce your Chuck and Larry as bad. The wedding scene alone with the Asian stereotype is one of the worst and the Stanley stereotype scene I ever seen it in a film.
But that being said, Legend of Hercules moves on. Next up, we've got Juice Bigelow, European Gigolo, up against Mac and Me. And it's starting on me. Look, I don't like Juice Bigelow, European Gigolo. It's not funny. But from the clips I've seen of Mac and Me, I don't want to watch it. So I'm going to go Mac and Me. Jordan, which way are you going on this?
I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Deuce Bigelow. I'm gonna go the bigger budgeted, you know what I mean, sequel that was unnecessary versus a harmless kids film that's not well made, but it had a really low budget. So go Deuce Bigelow for worse.
Steven, which way are you going on this?
Haven't seen either. Don't care to see either. I'll go with Jordan's pick, Mac and Me.
Chris.
Or no, just Bigelow, whatever.
All right.
Yeah, to keep the train going, I'm going with Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. I have not seen Mac and Me. Had no desire, but Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, I'm all trying to back that nobody's a sister.
Kevin.
I see both. Mac and Me is cheesily horrible. There is a dance sequence at a McDonald's, but my pick is Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. It's really awful.
Oh God!
Still got some. Can't remember how much more we've got here. That's My Boy versus the Fanatic this time. Jordan.
Let's go. The Fanatic.
Steven.
Yeah, The Fanatic might be enjoyable if it was a short, but as a feature film, it's probably going to be unbearable based on what I saw in Chris Tuckman's Hilarosity. If his review for it, was great because I was only seeing the movie in bits and pieces. But if I saw the whole movie and the whole movie's like that, I got to go with The Fanatic.
Chris.
Should I go with the movie where John Travolta speaking in a high-pitched voice, or should I go with the Adam Sandler movie where him as a kid has sex with a teacher and had a kid when he was young? I don't know which. I had to go with the Fanatic. That John Travolta annoying high-pitched voice is so annoying to listen to. I haven't even seen the movie. You know, stop my review just like got on my nerve after listening, hearing that voice over and over again. Yeah, the Fanatic. They both pretty bad. They both had terrible plot to them.
Kevin, That's My Boy, or The Fanatic?
That's My Boy. I really hate That's My Boy so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going The Fanatic. Seen the trailer, don't want to see it. I've seen the entirety of That's My Boy. It's fine, but I would rewatch it before I even watch The Fanatic. All my matchups on the side. Read voting, try to keep it very quickly. Just say what you want to go through, because we already talked about these movies in the first round, so we don't need to go over them again. Daddy Day Camp
Right.
and Waterworld, Stephen.
Muted.
Sorry.
You're muted.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny Day Camp for sure. I love Waterworld.
Chris.
The Eddie Murphy movie, Daddy Day Camp.
Kevin.
Daddy Day Camp.
Yeah, it's Daddy Day Camp for me as well. It's Jordan.
Make it 5. Or 4. All right, yeah, 5. No, I can count.
Daddy Day Camp, Daddy Day Camp.
Next up, we've got the Love Guru up against Meet the Spartans. Anyone not going Meet the Spartans?
Oh, what worse? I don't.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Meet the Spartans.
Yeah, I do go with Meet the Spartans. They're both pretty bad, but one is and the other. I have to go with Meet the Spartans.
At least one kind of has some
It's all I want.
direction and a good actor. I will fight now.
And I mean, with Meet the Spartans, I actually did enjoy Dedrick Bader in it. Next up,
Yeah,
we've got Lady in the Water.
I wish that dude got better stuff. Like, I like him.
But we've got Lady in the Water versus 50 Shades of Grey.
Easy.
Stephen, I'm going to start with you.
I like Lady in the Water, so I'll go with 50 Shades of Grey.
Chris.
The movie that made me hate how they treat male in movies, 50 Shades of Grey. Like, as a boyfriend, it's a movie very insulting.
Kevin.
Just the title.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I'm going 50 Shades as well. Jordan.
50 Shades, baby. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Don't improve.
Should have seen this as a clean sweep. Next up, we've got 1,000 Words up against Barbed Wire. Chris.
That might not be a clean sweep going with 1,000 Words. Eddie Murphy and her funniest, and he's being silent for a lot of film that's just trying to be funny and not funny at all.
Kevin. 1,000 Words with Barbed Wire.
1,000 Words.
Mm-mm.
I'm going 1,000 Words. Jordan.
Barbed Wire.
Stephen.
I would have gone with Barbed Wire too.
1,000 Words does move on.
Okay.
Next up, we've got 1,000 Words versus 50 Shades of Grey.
Just
give me the movie title, Chris. I do not want 1,000 words from you. Literally.
Just the title.
They're clean sweep for me. 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey.
Kevin, 50 Shades or 1,000 Words.
50 Shades of Grey.
Look, both of these movies are bad, but I kind of like 50 Shades. I'm going 1,000 Words on this one.
Malcolm,
50
Malcolm,
Shades or
just the
1,000
title.
Words.
Your own rule. You broke your own rule. No, 50 Shades.
Hey, it's my show. It's Stephen.
Well, since I've seen 50 Shades, I'll go with 50 Shades.
Don't watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
Next up, we've got Meet the Spartans up against Steady Day Camp. Anyone not going Meet the Spartans in this matchup?
Nope, it meets the Spartans. I am not even doing.
So I've gathered everyone's going Meet the Spartans. No one's objected to it. Which means that matchup will be interesting. We've got the Fanatic up against Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. Chris.
The Fanatic.
Kevin.
The Fanatic.
I am going that as well. Jordan.
Agreed. Fanatic.
Stephen.
Clean sweep.
What are these matchups are getting easier as we go on. Up next up, we've got Legend of Hercules up against Zoolander 2. Kevin.
Zoolander 2.
And I'm going that as well. Jordan.
I'll go Hercules.
Stephen.
Yeah, I'll go with Hercules.
Chris.
Zoolander 2. Cumberbatch jump. Yeah, Cumberbatch alone made that movie. Like, that one joke is so bad.
But Geely or Little Man, this is actually tough. Jordan.
It is. Shit, me. It's Little Man.
Stephen.
Little Man.
Chris.
And I say it. You see on my board.
Yeah. Kevin.
Little Man.
How much I
Man
hate. Don't even want to say that title.
Next up, we've got Kid and Hat up against Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. Stephen.
Saving Christmas.
Chris.
Oh look, Universal Studios. What product placement in kids movie? The Cat in the Hat.
Kevin.
Cat in the Hat.
I'm going this way, which means Jordan, it's on you.
I'll follow you. Saving Christmas.
I'd rather go for a bad family movie than a preachy,
Yeah, I'll at
movie.
least laugh once or twice. I can't have.
I think I know where this is going again. I'm preemptively doing that for myself. Kevin.
Movie 43.
Jordan.
Oh, don't act like you know me. Cool as ice.
Stephen.
At least movie 43 has a stacked cast, so I'm going with Cool as Ice.
Chris.
Movie 43. Are you kidding me?
You go. Let's try and make Chris upset with movies that don't make it through. Next up, we've got Vampires Suck versus Son of the Mask. Steven.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with Son of the Max since it's a sequel to a movie I love.
Chris.
The baby face and the freaking dog's face when he had a mask on alone. It's not a mask. Jesus Christ.
Steven.
Son of the Mask.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see, but so I'm going Vampires Suck. Jordan.
Son of the Mask.
Son of the Mask makes it through. And next up, we've got Son of the Mask up against Cool as Ice.
I better get Son of a Mask. Like that. Get that?
Kevin.
Son of the Mask.
You sure that you could? Then your word father.
Jordan.
Son of the Mask.
Stephen.
Yeah, Son of the Mask.
Son of the Mask
Thank-
moves on.
Thank you guys for finally being.
Next up, Little Man or Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. Kevin.
Okay.
Little man.
Yeah, I'm going that as well. Jordan.
Saving Christmas.
Stephen.
Saving Christmas.
Chris.
Saving Christmas, I take offensive movie over preachy to hit you over the head. Movie.
Next up, we've got the Fanatic up against Zoolander 2. Starting with me, we're in there. Jordan.
Fanatic.
Stephen.
Fanatic.
Chris.
Fanatic.
Kevin.
Zoolander 2.
Fanatic does move on. 50 Shades of Grey meets Spartans. Jordan.
Oh man. Meet the Spartans.
Stephen.
Meet the Spartans.
Chris.
50 Shades of Grey. I'm sorry, I just like that film should never have been made.
Kevin.
50 Shades of Grey.
Meet the Spartans is moving on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 50 Shades may be a terrible movie, but Meet the Spartans is just a parody movie that's
It had
not good.
Hollywood fans and cricket.
Meet the Spartans versus the Fanatic. It just gets better and better from here. Chris.
The Fanatic. Controversial high pitched voice alone make it.
Kevin.
You said that already.
The Fanatic.
I'm going this way. Jordan.
Yeah, it's tied up. Meet the Spartans.
Stephen.
The Fanatic.
Finally, you put into the.
Sorry, Limp Bizkit.
He's just rolling on through.
Keep rolling.
The,
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
But Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas up against Son of the Mask. Stephen.
Saving Christmas.
Chris.
Baby face alone. Son of a Mask is worse than things.
Kevin.
Son of the Mask.
Jordan.
Ooh, is that the me decide this? Son of the Mask, actually. Son of the Mask.
I forgot we'd already done that one. Which means we're at the finals, which is the Fanatic up against Son of the Mask. Chris.
I don't make it easy. One day give me nightmare every time I think about it. It's Son of a Mask.
Kevin.
Son of the Mask.
Jordan.
If Jamie Kennedy sees this, I'm definitely not gonna be able to open for him. But Son of the Mask.
Stephen.
The Fanatic.
But with a score of 3-2, Son of the Mask wins this.
Hooray!
But with that being said, a little bit longer than how I like to go, but when it comes to the brackets, I decide to do sometimes it can be quick. Sometimes it can get a lot of people talking, but Jordan, where can people find you online?
You can find me, first of all, at the premiere of Meet the Spartans 2 this summer. No, over at the Periscope channel. We do some movie trivia. maybe you'll see some of these gentlemen there from time to time. Picks and lists, a show about trivia, in my podcast, a show about shows, and then Pierce Wrestling. You'll find wrestling trivia as well as live wrestling matches. We upload pretty much every day something from a company here in Florida. Still got plenty of more matches to go, so we're uploading pretty much every day. And then Real Pro Wrestling live, Fort Myers, November 27th. That's Black Saturday. And then Black Sunday, we're live in the morning at the Comic-Con as well at the Crown Plaza in Fort Myers. Come see me and the awesome crew.
Stephen, where can people find you online?
Oh, I'm on all the social medias, Facebook, letterboxed at @shepherd82.
Chris, where can people find you online?
Facebook, YouTube, anywhere. I got a few matches coming up, and yeah, for fun. I probably would I would do 8 Wildcat Nats sometime in the future. This is
Kevin, where can people find you online?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Darkman119. I do plan on returning to streaming soon, just don't know when. Blue19 on Twitter, Darkman19 on Instagram, and of course, you can find me on the recently just posted Movie Battlegrounds Reborn for the tournament over 1 bracket. I'm going against Steve Mesa. I also some female categories are involving sports stuff, so you should see me try to go on a rant on that one.
And you can find me on Take 3 Productions, hosting Rankin every Saturday night. Next week's topic is going to be top 12 movies based on kids' books. Maybe Kid in the Hat will make it onto that list. Who knows? But you can also find me on Sundays hosting late night. Next week, I figure out what the topic might be. I'm just going. I need to be sure if I'm going to get a certain guest for it before I officially announce what the topic's going to be. But you can find me tomorrow on about 3 different channels in a row, pretty much. First, I'll be on Full Metal, hosting Full Metal Random, and the topic will be on Survivor. Then you can catch me over on Movie Hero channel, where I do a tournament fights on best fictional restaurants. And then you can catch me over on Multiplex, because I'm going to be on something different. And that's about it that I can say, because I don't know who I'm going to sort of who's going to be on my slot team, and that it's randomized. And then sign up for Classic and that I host on Sundays. But from all of us here, you can catch me everywhere, and yeah, keep being random.